speaking of which, Lost Ark. How are you guys been doing lately in Lost Ark? How are you been enjoying everything?
Cody, do you want to go first?
Oh yeah, I've been no-lifing it pretty hard. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing a lot. I haven't played this much Lost Ark in like a long time. I've been like that excited to play since like for a while. Honestly, I've been enjoying Tier 4 a lot. I've been juicing my roster. I'm like doing like 4 raids a week right now. I'm like last week I think I did like 27 raids or something on my roster because I brought in my alt glaive from Jumpstart or from not Jumpstart. What's it called? From Ignite servers.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, been really enjoying it. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I actually been just like super having a good time. I've been like really motivated to grind too because I feel like before the big thing I had to kind of work on was Transcendence for my roster, and that kind of made me sad. And so like that didn't really like motivate me to want to like play the game or like
motivate
me to want to grind. Yeah, I legit had like a lot of anxiety towards it. I really didn't dislike it like pretty strongly. So I didn't really have a motivation to play. And if I don't have like a goal, I don't have any desire to do anything. But now just a lot of stuff, right? Like working on honing, working on like getting your relic books. There's like a whole bunch of things working on getting your arc passes unlocked and stuff. So there's a lot more things that I don't know, that is just like more enjoyable. You know what I mean? There's a lot more things that are actually enjoyable to do in the game or to work towards. And you're getting kind of like that week by week progression. I feel like that's something that's like kind of big with Lost Ark, because getting that week by week progression is kind of really important, opposed to just like these big lump sums of like, okay, well, to get this power, it's going to be like 150 or 300k or 400k. You know what I mean? Like you're getting incrementally strong, like significantly stronger over like a not ridiculous amount of time, which I think is like usually pretty fun. Because that's how I used to be back in the day, right? Like with before like a con type thing.
Yeah, before we got super seeped in with Tier 3 for like 10 years basically, because at some point we just kind of like hit the ceiling for all of like the vertical progressions. We were just waiting for the new vertical progress, like new vertical system to come out every single time, and then we hit the ceiling for that, and then we just sit and wait for the next one. Whereas this time there's like a lot of resets, and like we have all these systems where none of us are even really at the top of this at the ceiling yet, which some people are, the whales are, but for normal players who don't spend like a ton of money, we're all just kind of working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's still.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, go ahead, Miso.
No, go ahead, Miso. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, for me, like, there's like, still we all like. I have to work on gems. I have to work on books. I have to work on all these things. Basically, none of the systems that are, refreshed themselves, I've gotten even close to where it needs to be.
Yeah, no, I feel like for me, for a while now, the biggest thing for me is the whole reason why I enjoy playing Lost Ark is to play with other people. But I also have a full-time corporate job, right? So it makes it pretty difficult to keep up, honestly. I think for me, the biggest thing is that like I'm just too burnt out to be doing like all 6 Chaos Dungeons, whatever, so on and so forth. So I feel like because the game has become more geared towards, like, I feel like especially for us as streamers, we're a little bit biased because our sample is more so the hardcore gamers, right? The people who are all in endgame. How many casual gamers do we really know? People who still play Lost Ark very casually, who are, maybe starting out, still trying to do like their brawls and stuff, right? Probably not that many. So I feel like it's been harder and harder for me to stay caught up just because I don't have the resources to be there. Like people always laugh, but like I literally only have silver now because of my Ignite character. Like otherwise I was always like less than 10 mil silver.
Dude,
like
that 50 mil silver was real hot.
Dude, it was huge. It was amazing. I was like, holy crap, I can actually hone. But like people would be like, oh, like you got to reroll your gems, you got to do this, you got to do that, and I'm like, dude, like I don't think I even have the silver to convert to tier 4 because like I won't be able to keep up. So for me it was like I think it was a good thing. I didn't even think I'd be able to prog Aegir on release, honestly, just because I didn't think I'd be hitting it. I just hit normal mode. Like my main is 1668, so it's nothing special. But I feel like I've taken a lot more of a relaxed approach to the game. And I honestly think that it's been a little bit healthier for me because before I was burning myself out to try and like you said, keep up with Transcendence and keep up with this and keep up with that. And now I'm like, okay, like I'm just going to focus on, I've really just been focusing on like 3 characters at a time, my main and my 2 alts. One of which is another bard, right? So my life's a little bit easier there with like gems and stuff. But yeah, I think I play Lost Ark more in the sense that I casually log on more because overall my approach to it has been more casual. Does that make sense? So it's like I don't feel so burnt out of the game as much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I've kind of always taken that approach to the game. Like, I don't know about you guys for like the past, but for me, it was always like, you know, if I feel like doing something, I'll do it. If I don't feel like I'm doing something, I don't do it. Like, you know, for the longest time, I was running 6 characters and I'd maybe get like half my characters' raids done.
Oh my god!
The other ones I wouldn't. And then like now I think I'm playing like 3 characters. I have 5 characters I'd say are gold earners at the moment. 6.
Oh wow! Okay.
Technically there's 6, but like I only really intended there to be 5, and then I'm not even playing 5 characters. I'm basically playing 3, and they're like they're like my super like it's my super budget characters too, because I'm of course my main striker, but then I also play Shadow Hunter, and now I'm playing Scouter, Legacy Scouter. So it's basically 2 transform classes in my main, so it's basically I only need to have 1 set of gems basically, and then I can share those too, right? Send everything over now for the bonus AP too. Exactly. So like it's been like I don't know. I've been, and like even like Chaos Dungeons, I haven't really been like super like yesterday I was like looking at my characters. I'm like, why do I only raid on 3 characters, but yet 2 out of my main 6, 3 of them had like full rested Chaos Dungeons and Guardians. I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
My life. I feel like I have no patience for doing like not tier 4 Chaos Dungeons now. Because like the new Chaos Dungeon is so much better. Like I just run in there, and when I'm done, I'm done. And I think you get more buffs and stuff too. So like it feels faster to me, honestly.
It's just so you can hit the what's it called? You can hit the avatar state, because before when you would like
in the flow state,
when you have to go through because when you have to go through menus, it breaks you out of like that the subcontinent.
Yeah. You know I mean? No, seriously.
Because it's the same length essentially. It's the one. It's like slightly shorter, but it whatever. It's kind of
really
the same
is.
so like,
no, it is still is definitely.
Yeah, like not having to go into a menu and clicking and like am I doing like you don't have any. You're able to just go right. So I feel
no
like
portals between like your 3.
No portals, nothing to like go back in and no, like you know what I mean. You're just like going, and it's just kind of nicer in general. You don't have to do like a bunch of loading screens. I find.
I agree.
I mean, you can really just like turn off. You really just turn off your brain, just go in there and just hit stuff.
I feel like I'm on the polar opposite though.
If cubes were like that, I would have finished all my tickets.
I've been fucking with cubes recently.
Oh, I've seen. I think I'm sitting on like a good 3 level 10 gems if I finish my cube.
You just play it on your Steam Deck, dude. I installed the GeForce Now on my Steam Deck, and you could just like
But don't you need to like pay for GeForce Now or something to do it?
That's $12.
Oh, that's not that bad actually.
Yeah, it's 12 CAD. Like it's 12 CAD a month.
Okay, that changes things because
dollars.
Well, fuck you,
I just literally when you look at the screen, it vibrates when you have to go to the next floor or when it's done.
Really?
So I just fucking stare at my TV and I'm just like clicking buttons and like whatever goes off goes off.
Yeah.
Fucking
my PC is right beside my bed though, so if I go into my bed, like I'm fucking eeping. You know what I mean?
I know you said like you could like I guess that's true. Do you spend any time like in your living room and shit? You don't really like watch TV or anything?
No, I'm the like goblin in the room upstairs. Well, fuck, I'm not being allegations. No, I actually am. So I'm a middle child, right? I don't know if that everything will make sense now. So it's like I was literally always like in the corner fucking playing League of Legends, like growing up. Like I don't interact with my family. If my family wants to interact with me for some reason because of this, like they all come to my bedroom and like they'll like come yap. The whole family of yappers, by the way.
So, whole family of yappers.
I'm so serious. One time my brother came onto my stream. He was like, I have a story to tell about the gym. I was like, all right, go for it. He like talked for like 5 minutes with some gym girl. I was like, hurry up, bro. Is this what it's like? But yeah, no, I don't leave my room, unfortunately. So yeah. But I'll try. It's an alternative.
Just do your cubes then, dude. Fuck it. Lock in.
Yeah. I need to, you know what? I'll hotspot myself when I'm on the train going to work. And I'll hotspot my stream deck.
It's like holding yourself hostage. That's just like fuck it. Bro,
dude, it's like I can't like no XP waste, you know?
Yeah, actually.
I used to do that with like OSRS on my phone.
Oh, actually?
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, like actually no XP. Well, Brighter Shores.
Brighter Shores.
I've heard good things about it. I've heard that it's not yeah, like basically the consensus I've heard from like hardcore OSRS players is that like obviously it's not going to replace it, and it's nowhere near as close because like OSRS has just had so much more time to develop and stuff like that. But like in the meantime, right now it's like a really good number go up, serotonin go burr kind of game. So I'm probably gonna check it out while I'm like watching Netflix shows, because
I mean, it's another one of those games where like everything that you do makes a number go up. Like you go hit mobs, number goes up. You
exactly.
Forage, number goes up. Everything you do just makes numbers go up.
Yeah, exactly. So have you tried it, Miso? Because I think you did, right? You're streaming it a couple days ago.
I wasn't streaming it, but I did play it a little bit 2 days ago on launch day, and I was spending some time on it today, just like off stream. I don't know. Okay. I haven't really been streaming other games other than Lost Ark these days, but
I feel you.
Yeah, I tried it, and like I don't know, maybe I'm not much of a OSRS player. Like I played it when I was a kid, but ever since then I haven't really gone back. every single time I'm here on the pod with May, she's always making me feel old. I swear to God.
No, young at heart. Actually, out of curiosity, are you guys the same age or?
I'm 32.
I'm 31, so I guess 1 year difference.
Basically. Okay, yeah. It's funny because I feel like Miso feels younger than Cody.
I mean, I am,
like by more than just.
He is. He actually is.
It's the Asian genes. It's the Asian genes.
Yeah, true.
Cody also has like a huge, the facial hair going on and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes me look older. I have to get shaved though. Dude, this is like too much. It's actually.
Why don't you get like the little beard kit to like?
I'm gonna go to a barber. I've just been kind of lazy. I've just been streaming a lot. I've been streaming from like the moment I wake up to like bed, pretty much. So I just haven't and also they're not closed or not open on Sundays. And Mondays, which are usually the days where like I go do other shit. So I'm probably gonna go on like Saturday. I think I'm just gonna go like next week on Saturday. I am not 42, bro. What the?
These people out here making us feel old. I'm too young watching these old.
Actually, no. Gwen is coming from your chat, Miso. So you have to take responsibility.
Take responsibility for that.
Yeah, take responsibility for your chatters, guys. Oh man.
Well, I mean, my chat's always called me gold. Anyways, it's a daily reminder at this point. They let me know that I have one foot in the grave.
Dude, everybody playing this game is like old as fuck, dude. No, young bucks ain't playing fucking.
MMO gamers are old. Like,
actually,
is what it is.
They're playing Fortnite or Roblox or something.
Oh my God, I was at the dentist today, and it was freaking. Oh God, this is so embarrassing. Okay, it was take your kids to work day, right? So my dentist was like, "Hey, I brought my son to shadow your appointment," and I was like, "Why?" So he was watching. He's like, "Hi." I was like, "Hi, what's up? Like, how's it going?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." I was like, "Okay, we're not talking." I'm like, "What do you do for fun?" He was like. And his mom's the dentist was like, come on, like you play basketball and stuff. I was like, oh, you're a baller. He's like, not really. She's like, you play Fortnite, right? He's like, Mom, I don't play Fortnite. I was like, bro, it's fine. Why
didn't you make me feel more comfortable? Why don't you say like, yo, I play Fortnite too? You're like,
I was like, don't worry, like, actually, I don't play Fortnite actually, because
we should know when to hit the L, dude. You fucking just jump off the chair and like, you know when to take the L.
The Shanda newbie. No, it was so embarrassing. So I have a phobia of needles. So like literally, this guy came into the room, right? And then she's like, okay, we're gonna freeze your mouth now. I was like, okay. And then I start fucking bawling because I'm terrified of needles. And I was like, please don't put this in your report. Like, this is really embarrassing.
Don't put this in your report.
What type of report are they doing?
Do you guys have to take your kids to work day in America?
Wait, what?
Or take your kids to work day?
School?
Yeah, I did.
I don't think so. We didn't have that in Quebec. I don't remember ever doing that.
Actually, I'm sure it's company by company. It's probably not like
no, it's a school thing. It's like your school board. So when you're in grade 9, it's like to help you figure out what you want to do for your career. This has nothing to do with Lost Ark. I'm so sorry. But like, yeah, you have to like go to like work. Like companies will put something like set something up for all the kids because it's like a national, I guess not national, but a provincial day. So
there's like career day where you like, sometimes it'll be like about going, some schools is like going to work. Some schools it'll be like, bring your like parent to work to school and they'll talk about their job and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, this is like you get the day off school and you go in and you shadow. But
nah, it's not like
they don't have that in Quebec. I'm gonna be honest, dude.
Should I?
Yeah, but we're French. It's different, dude. Like
my mom just made me work. Like... It was kind of lame.
Really? Free labor.
Yeah.
Easy.
Dude. Yeah. Oh man.
Well,
all right, Miso, what's up next on your list? The dentist.
The dentist was actually on the list. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
preemptively.
I mean, we were talking about like Lost Ark and like just how things are going recently, and Cody's said that you're playing it a lot lately with Tier 4 and everything that has come out. So it sounds like you're enjoying the game since the updates.
Yeah, I've been having a good time. I've been playing like doing dailies on like 8 characters, and then
Damn.
I've been doing a lot of raids. Yeah, and I just haven't. I don't know. I've just been having a good time. The thing is, when I feel like grinding, I have like, and there's something worth grinding for, I have a good time with it. Like I could play like forever, because I just enjoy the grind. But like, yeah, doing elixirs and doing transcendence pretty like sucks. It's really
yeah, you literally.
But like honestly, like honing and shit, I vibe with it. The new accessory shits are kind of fun. You could like gamble with them.
Are you in Arc Passive?
So I'm supposed to be on my main is Arc Passive,
because this is the week, right?
Yeah, but not even the week. It was like, this was like last week. Could have done it, but my 4 alts can't. Well, my glaive that my alt glaive I pushed is going to be probably swatching in like 3 weeks, because she's going to get there this week. But my asking about the potion, bro.
What? Oh no!
So I have 4 characters that can't switch to Arc Passives because I don't have the boss potion yet.
Oh
so I spent a ton. I've been grinding a ton, and I can't. Yeah, you can't. I can't activate my. The way it works for me is you essentially have to be either level 70 or essentially level 67 with all potions to activate Arc Passives. And so I'm not 70 on my alts.
Okay.
No, because that's what your main. To be like,
I'm gonna have to actually run cubes.
Because like 1680, you can get ancients.
My main's already transitioned. My main's fully Arc Passives. But even she's getting cucked because I do slightly more damage than I would before. Yeah, actually I do more knocks on my 3rd piece. Hold on, hey,
get his ass.
Glaive's cranking, bro. Glaive's right now. Listen, once I get the fucking Megazord built up, dude.
Yo, just you wait. I'm gonna crank.
How many things for a striker main, bro? What the fuck? Hold on, dude.
Wait, true. Hold on a second.
I'm used to taking it. For one, I want to be dishing it out for once,
No, but it's yeah. So because of that boss potion, like I'm actually gonna wake up at 4 in the morning. I'm gonna be doing like a 4 a.m. stream tomorrow.
I saw people are doing that shit. There was a Reddit post. Okay, they're talking about you, Cotty. Because there was like a Reddit post today about how like, guys, like it's just a game. I even see streamers who are waking up in the middle of the night to get the potion.
Oh, yeah, to do double dip?
Streamers.
I'm playing 8 ass motherfucking characters. To double dip on reset.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Anyone who says it's just a game, if that motherfucker complains about getting gay capped, you can suck my dick. Lock the fuck in, boys. Lock the fuck in. If you're not waking up at 4 a.m. to get a fucking potion, what are you doing? I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm cursed with potions. In BDO, it took me 500 hours to find the goddamn potion pieces for my infinite pot. Dude, for whatever reason, potions hate me. Okay, dude, but you know what? We fucking still cook. Lock the fucking music. Ooh, I'm playing 1 character. Miso, ooh, I'm playing 3 characters. Lock in, play 12 characters, wake up at 4 a.m. We kill the boss, dude.
All right.
Yeah, just the game is such virgin energy. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, fuck, dude.
I mean, technically, I'm still awake at 4 a.m. I haven't end streamed yet, but
yeah,
for you, it's actually not gonna be late. You're chilling.
Yeah, because our 4 a.m. is your 1 a.m. So that's soft.
Yeah, dude, that's literally the peak stream time right there.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Yesterday I passed out at this time. I've been going to bed at 9 p.m.
You went to bed so early. Yeah, I was surprised.
Because I wake up at 6, dude. I wake up at 6.
No, yeah, I know you're on that grind, gym life and stuff. Yeah. You're looking great, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, your shoulders are like a straight line.
Looking like a football player.
And I look like Steve.
Steve.
Like live action Steve, like a young Jack Black. Oh man,
young Jack, bro. That man was what the fuck? But anyway, so yeah, I'm getting gay kept by that potion to activate Arc Passives.
That's so sad.
But I don't know. It's weird. I'm gonna be honest. There's so many things in Tier 4 that I feel like Smilegate actually like just fucking. I'm be honest, bro. I want to take a stinky dump inside of the office one day. But like when in the public bathroom, but like honestly, at the same time, I've been having a fucking blast. Like it's hard. It's like I'm at a crux of humanity.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Like everyone's complaining about supports. I fucking can't stand the fact that I'm getting gay kept by a potion, but at the same time, I've been having a good time, bro. I'm doing 27 raids a week, and like I'm vibing. It's a good time. Like I'm just having fun. Yeah. The T skills are sick. The hyper awakenings are sick. The power jumps every single week are sick. The accessory rolling is fun. Dude. New chaos is sick. New garden is fun.
I've been hitting the casino so often.
Yeah, I got a 400k piece yesterday. Or 400k piece.
Everyone's getting fucking rich, man.
Yeah, bro. Lock in, mate. Lock the fuck in.
I am.
1680.
Lock in.
Yeah, I spent 100k yesterday. If any,
your fucking all guards has never transcendence done yet. Lock fuck in.
I literally did so. Okay, I did so much fucking transcendence. My main is past 100. I did everything but my weapon on my main. I ran out of gold.
Bro, the weapon's huge for support. That's like the new Prio too.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Weapons like
okay. Don't activate the tier emojis, bro. That's crazy. Oh my.
Maybe you should play a little bit more, man. I'm sorry. I advocate for healthy lifestyle, but you know what? I think it's time.
Dude, bro, if you play Lost Ark, you don't want a healthy lifestyle. Okay, dude.
I don't. I'm literally eating honey butter fries for dinner.
It's okay, bro. I had fucking some rotisserie chicken tonight, bro. That shit.
Oh shit, Costco?
Yeah, no. This place called St. Hubert.
Oh, we never got the fries St. Hubert.
Yeah, it actually was pretty good. Friday's usually my the night where I eat like something like that's like little bad. You know what I mean? I was like,
that's what I had katsu tonight.
Some shit.
I'm probably gonna grab a burrito tonight. You know, it is what it is.
Oh shit! From where? Cody? Okay, question. Sorry, Cody, don't say anything. Miso, what is your experience like with Chipotle?
I mean, it's Chipotle. It's of its own category. It's fine, but it's not Mexican food.
It's like, does it make you feel any type of way after?
Not really. Also, I've only eaten Chipotle twice in my life.
Twice?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna eat it like a burrito or a taco, I'm gonna hit up a taqueria. You know?
Wait, you don't get the?
Oh yeah, it's true. I forgot you live in a place where like the yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, wait, no, he's in NorCal.
Yeah, he's far.
Still,
Cali's got some good Mexican food.
I still think about Tacos El Gordo. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that makes sense though. Yes, El Chipotle. Yeah,
so good.
It was all right. So the reason
she was saying that is because I remember we don't have Chipotle in Quebec, Omega, low. But I had it when I went to like Plattsburgh, which is like in New York State, and I was like, the first time I had it, I thought I didn't understand why everyone liked Chipotle because they served me the meat cold, and I was like,
oh really?
What the heck?
They don't heat up the meat, and I mentioned on stream, and I was like, no, bro, like they heat up the meat. I'm like, are you sure, man? I'm like, they didn't heat up my meat. And so I had it a couple times. I was like, oh, it was all right. And then like recently, it's like a 50-50 if it like how to put this delicately, but I'm giving like explosive diarrhea. You know what I mean? And it's just like a 50-50 chance.
I don't know how to do this delicately. Oh my god!
I wish we had Taco Bell here, bro. I love Taco Bell.
You don't have Taco Bell? I've never had Taco Bell.
No, they closed it. There's none in Quebec.
I've never had Taco Bell because there was just not one near my high school. So like almost, I think like in my friend group, like 4 of us haven't had Taco Bell. Do the dance. Do the fucking dance. Get up. Do it. Let me see.
Oh boy, I'm a full boy.
Hit the L. Hit the L.
All right, this ain't you good. You sir refuse to go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m. I think that's just asking for a bad time.
No. Well, so actually, so funny. So one, Taco Bell, right? There's I don't eat fast food much ever. I probably eat fast food maybe like 3 to 4 times a year, but you know,
that's it.
Yeah, probably about 3 to 4 times a year. But then in terms of Taco Bell, I always hear like people who love Taco Bell. Like they think it's like the best.
Yeah,
there, right?
I hear that too. I see it as well.
Which is why
blast me in the ass.
I don't that's
really just Calvin.
Only Calvin.
Really
yeah, bro. I was gonna say, bro. Only Calvin says that, bro. Not everyone. That's just Calvin, bro.
I should text him.
I don't hear that one. But yeah, it's you know, people love that shit, and you know, it makes me feel like I'm missing out on some piece of culture. But also,
okay, go ahead.
No, go.
Oh no, I was gonna say I only hear that recently, but like as I was in like high school and stuff, I would only hear bad things about Taco Bell. Like I would hear that it would, as Cody so delicately put it, like give you explosive diarrhea. So that's why I was like, I'm not gonna eat that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but
I mean, it probably still does.
Yeah, probably.
Not all fast food. You need a stronger tummy.
Bro,
you need some probiotics. You need to put some yogurt. Yeah,
honestly, recently I switched my diet to eating essentially just meat, and I've been feeling great, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I eat just minced meat and sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
And I just eat a shit ton of minced meat, and I've been feeling great, dude. I'm gonna be honest. It's actually been bad here.
Yeah.
I was eating like 150 grams of meat before, and I wasn't hitting. I'm eating like
the protein is so important.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. It actually I feel like I could like lift a house.
I think you want to like start your day with 30 grams of protein or something.
30 grams of protein?
I think for women, like you want to start your day with 30 grams of protein.
Girls?
Ladies?
Girls? Do you remember that? Were you there, May? Yes. Oh, you were with the car chase. There was a woman.
Oh my god! Yeah, the car chase. Dude, I was so invested in that car chase, bro. Yeah, yo, I don't know what's going on in your state, Miso. Y'all got some interesting.
There was a car chase happening, Miso, in Actually,
was it one of those like helicopter cams of following like some sort of car chase?
It was a car chase going at 15 miles per hour. It was crazy.
I've seen those. I've seen those. I think those are usually in LA. I think usually those.
Yeah. It was. I think it was somewhere in LA. Yeah.
But the cops were just kind of vibing. Like they were just kind of like letting her tire herself out. It was like when you're chasing a kid and you just like let them like eventually just fall on the floor and start crying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you done now? Like that's what it was like. It was pretty funny.
I mean,
I feel so bad. We keep derailing this podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
You took like the two ADHD people from the Lost Ark category into one podcast.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe, honestly. But you know, before we go back on the topic, last Taco Bell story. So talking about not going to Taco Bell at 3 a.m. I actually did go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m. one time when I was in college, and I will have to say that it did not end very well. We were
I hope there's a girl involved.
There is a girl involved, but not in the way that you think.
Oh my god, exciting!
Not in the way that you think. So my friends and I were heading down to Taco Bell. We were gonna grab some, you know, we were just gonna grab the typical stuff, right? I think we were gonna get. I think they at that time maybe they just came out with like the Dorito shells for some of the stuff.
Oh yeah.
But you know, maybe I'm aging myself again. But then we were going down to get some Taco Bell, and we pull into the parking lot. And then we see this lady trying to come out of the parking lot, and we're just sitting there, and we're like, this lady is totally gonna hit us. So we just stop the car. My friend's like, you know what? I'm not touching anything. We're just putting this car into neutral, see what happens.
Oh my god.
100%, right? As expected. Scrapes the side of our car instantly.
Oh no.
And it wasn't even our car, it was our friend's car.
Did you at least have a dash cam before being like, yeah, I'll just let them hit the car?
No. I mean, most people weren't using dash cams at the time. Again, aging myself.
So what happened?
I feel like people have dash cams now. What the fuck? You have a dash cam, eh?
Yeah, for both the front and the rear.
Oh, like you mean like installing the car to like go before it? Damn, you got a nice car.
No, not the backup camera, like a recording camera.
Oh yeah,
you can buy like a thing.
Yeah, it's like
what do you need that for? Okay, wait, what?
Like in case somebody decides to fucking rear end you right before the 427 and then drive off and then go on the 427 and leave you in your first accident on the 401 crying on the phone to your dad.
It's oddly specific.
Fuck that guy. But anyways, I think everyone should have a dash cam.
Everyone should have a dash cam. That makes sense. Honestly, I get that. That's one of those things where like you experience and you're like, okay, wait, hold on. That's like a
after that. It's funny because I had a front camera actually, but this fucker rear-ended me. Sorry. So and the guy behind him like was also trying to chase him because like literally I was pulling over into the emergency lane so that way I could like, you know, get his insurance and whatever, blah blah blah, because it felt like a hard hit. And this guy fucking zooms off and takes the exit to the 427. I'm like, so the guy behind him, like we were both kind of chasing this guy for a little bit before he went on to the 427.
Wait, you were chasing him? Like you got in your car and started like...
Yeah, I was in my GTA mode. I'm like in a fucking Nissan Rogue, bro. The guy who hit me was like driving like a shitty Altima. And then the guy behind, who is like an Avenger, was in a Golf. So like he was zooming, right? But like the guy in the Golf like zooms past me. He like waves to like pull over. I'm like, okay, so I pull over. And then I get out, I'm like fucking crying and shit because it's my first accident. And he's like, did this guy just hit your car? I was like, yeah, he hit my car. And he's like, don't worry, like I was following him. I hopefully like got his plate and stuff. He's like really nice about it. I think he's still saved in my phone as Mitchell accident. And then we walk around to the back of my car and we're both kind of like, oh, it was completely fine. Like, it felt like and we were both shook because it was a hard hit. But I think it's because the bumper is plastic on the Rogue, so like he just kind of slid underneath it. Because
that makes sense. Also, if you're both moving and shit, like if there's no like
I was at a
like stopping power. Oh, really? Your car didn't move at all? I was, and it gave me like PTSD because I'm literally looking in my rear view mirror and I see this guy fucking zooming, and I'm like, he's gonna hit me, and then he hit me, and he was like fucking Pikachu shock face, and I was like, well, okay. So yeah, get a dash cam, guys.
And we're surprised that you guys chased him. Like, what are you gonna do? Like T-bone his fucking car and like try to get him to stop?
I wanted to get his plate. Like I called my dad and I was like yelling plate numbers from my I was like, Dad! And then I watched back the video after and I sounded like so stressed. I was like, whoops. Yeah, for accidents, great. Wait, that's so sad. Yeah, my car had DR. Thank God. I spacebarred the hit.
Bro, that was yesterday, bro. She went over a spike strip and she just she spaced it, bro. It was nuts.
Really?
Oh
Holy shit! She got that the active immunity
Bro, it was
frame
nuts.
right there.
It was actually because they're like, we hit it with a spike strip. It's like, oh, her wheel's actually completely fine. It's like, yeah, no kidding, dude.
That's the speed at she was going. She's completely.
She was going at like 40, bro.
Yesterday? Oh, yeah, no, she was driving 10. Dude, the juke.
I wish I recorded it. It was so good.
It was so good.
It was so fun to watch.
It was so good. I'm so sad she
Nobody
got
hurt.
It was good that she got caught.
She shot,
like, yeah, she shot 2 people. Allegedly.
Yeah,
Allegedly shot 2 people. Okay, dude.
These have to be made up, right?
No, it was live. It was.
I mean, it was a live thing.
Yeah. Maybe we need new hobbies. Actually.
Instead of watching people like chasing, watching like a 15-mile chase.
Dude, I like got home from work. I like log on. I'm like, oh, Cuddy's
I was so locked into it.
He's like, guys. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I got invested, so like I understand me. So I think you just need to experience it one time for your life, and then
it kind of hits. I never thought I'd be like well, I wouldn't call that high speed, but like a chase kind of person.
Yeah,
but it actually kind of hits. It's exciting. You know what I mean? Especially when it's like stupid as fuck like that. I feel like it was going really fast. I'd be like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, if it was like scary, then
people are like in danger. But she was like, she was using her blinker. She did full stops at her stop sign.
Yeah, she was very polite. She had her dog.
It was a very, she was a very polite
criminal.
Murder,
very polite.
She probably apologized.
Attempted murderer.
Probably apologized right before she shot them.
Yeah, probably.
Wrote a sorry note and left it behind.
Like, yo, my bad. Awful, OG.
My apologies had to be done.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we've been 45 minutes into this podcast, and we've talked about Lost Ark maybe like 5 minutes. But you know what?
Warn you.
It is. We're good. We're good.
I did warn you this is
Asteria's back on the top. I mean, I could have always stopped it, but whatever. This is a good time. Asteria's back into the topic. Ignite servers. Did you guys like it? Was it good? Did you guys enjoy your time there? What do you think? It was well implemented.
Cuddy, you go first.
I go first.
Yeah.
I think they did them really well. I think it's kind of good to like get people like directly into the end game, but it made me realize that the game is not very easy for new players. I feel like older raids need to be kind of changed to like be baby raids, like actually baby raids where patterns are slowed down and things are actually like kind of, because the thing is you could like nerf Thamine's health forever, and if you take 8 people who've never played the game before, understanding that there's patterns that you have to para-immune and then use your push immunity and how your space bars like movement ability works, and also understanding that you can animation cancel out of spacebar or you could linger it to get more like super armor out of it and stuff. Like all those, like those are like much deeper mechanics that a lot of players don't learn for a long time. And I feel like that being the entry is kind of hard, but again, I don't think it's a bad thing to just get people like into the game and get people like into the, like I think they released Tier 4 well, essentially, that they got players. Yeah. It should have been an expansion level event. It wasn't because Omega lost money with it, but I think Amazon did a good job of trying to simulate that, if that makes any sense. Like getting people on the ground floor in the new content, able to do the new shit, juiced out of their minds, they have what they need and kind of thing. So in that sense, I think Ignite servers were really good. I also think it was a good learning environment. I feel like a lot of people did learn how to do Thamine and did learn, you know what I mean? Like there's a ton of new people that came back or are new to the game in my chat that went through Ignite servers that actually, it's like they're having a good experience from it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it was pretty good. I think the only thing I would have changed, honestly, personally, would just be like, don't let them do Transcendence. Like Transcendence should have just been fully, completely done for one character. Let them worry about it for the alts. And then Elixir should have been, like you should just choose from either Luminary Crit or Masters, and then don't let them interact with those systems, just because those systems are pretty rough. I find in general, like even old players don't like them, to the point where it actually takes them, it would stop them from playing. Something like they enjoy the game and have investment into it, and then they are willing to leave because of those systems. So new player with no investment in the game, no stake in the game, it's kind of like, why make them go through that? You know what I mean? They're going to go through it 5 other times. They're going to do it anyways on alts. Okay, dude, like just for that one time, just let them cook, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But otherwise it was really well done.
I think like, you know, they should just phase out those systems. Like at this
100%.
point, just make it like anytime there's an event, just immediately boom, done. Characters got it done.
Yeah. 100%. I think Transcendence especially, and I've seen that sentiment a lot, where it's like just let Transcendence be a roster wide thing.
It's hard for them too, because the thing is, like, you know, at Transcendence at least you have the calculator, but elixirs, bro, they gotta learn it. You have to just
and there's different things that you want depending on your class and stuff.
Yeah, like you have to actually learn how to cut an elixir, and it's I don't know. Yeah, it's like a lot, like even a lot of new players were complaining more about elixirs, like, oh, I don't mind Transcendence, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but they didn't like elixirs because there's no way to cheat elixirs. You actually have to.
Yeah, you have to think about it.
So, well, there's a calculator kind of too, but it's like not amazing. It's
I think they supplemented it by
like brain dead.
You know? Yeah, exactly. And also, calculator automatically teaches you how to cut Transcendence, right? Like eventually, from doing it, you'll be able to recognize patterns and whatever, right?
Yeah,
but elixirs, you kind of like they tried to supplement it. They're giving like a ton of free elixirs, like a shit ton.
Yeah.
So that's good, but it's just like it's a very unforgiving system.
I think the thing is, elixirs is a band-aid. Elixirs, at least once you cut your elixirs, I guess if you want to say if you're lucky, it's less work than Transcendence. My biggest thing with Transcendence is you have 7 levels per piece, right? And then you have your 6 pieces per character, and then 6 characters. I don't know how to do math, but I think that's over 100. Probably. Maybe.
It's a lot.
Okay, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's at least more than 3. Okay.
It's a metric fuck ton.
It's a metric fuck ton. And so it's just, and you're like we said, like elixirs, okay, fine, you're getting something special, like specific to your class that you're trying to aim for and stuff. Transcendence, it is a gold sink. It was implemented because there was a lot of gold. There was a lot of time between raids or whatever you want to call it in Korea. So like I get it for them. For us, yo, don't make us suffer, man. Like it's a little bit much. But Cody, I actually counterpoint, because you were saying that you think that the Ignite characters or Ignite people shouldn't have had to interact with those systems.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that it was handled decently well, and maybe my perspective's a little bit different because I am actively playing, but I would feel worse if they had no idea what that thing was. They think that it's just auto apply. They don't realize how important it was. And then they move their character over to a legacy server. And then all of a sudden they're like, why am I being gatekept? Why am I not getting into anything? Like, why am I struggling? So I do think that was handled well in the sense that it was like a taste of it. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I meant they should have it auto completed. I mean, it should be fully completed, not
just like partially. Full 7s. And
I meant they should interact with it as in like they shouldn't have to do it.
Okay.
They get a character with 20 or whatever. What is it, like 100 flowers?
Yeah.
And then
like 120 flowers.
And then they also have a choice of 40 set critical masters, or
I think that would have been good, because
luminary elixirs, and then let them worry about it on their alts.
Yeah.
If they get like you have to kind of get these players hooked.
Yeah.
And then make them deal with the fucking cock and ball torture. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Because like that, like once they like the game, then you'll put up with the stuff, right? Like you'll deal with it. At the end of the day, they don't make the game, right? So it's like it's like if you enjoy the game, you'll put up with the stuff that kind of is annoying. But
I agree.
At least like that first character is like foot in the door, ready to go. There's nothing like stopping them from enjoying the game. You know what I mean? I think at least that's how I look at it. Like I feel like it's just better for
I think what I'm trying to get at is more so from an education standpoint, because I found that so many people were like, wait, like especially new players, right? They were like, what is this? How am I supposed to do this? And all we can really do is throw them guides and be like, yeah, sorry, can't help you more than this. This is just something that everyone has to suffer with, right?
Yeah.
So that's like, the thing that kind of sucked, is that like, especially like just gaining the levels automatically. I don't think there was really, I don't know if I shift G'd it, but I don't think there was much of a tutorial otherwise.
No.
Like there wasn't anything special to explain it. And that's kind of what you're saying too, Cody. Like it is hard for new players to come in and be like, or even returning players. Like I had people who were returning, they're like, hey, like I'm coming back. I haven't run anything since Ivory Tower. Like I need to learn Thaymine. I need to learn Vicus. Like what is this? What is that? And it was just a lot. I think that 2 things where Ignite failed personally. I found that after the transfers opened up, Ignite servers, it was pretty hard to get a decent raid group going, especially if you're pugging something, right? And then half the people have transferred. So they're like, I'm really sorry, can't help you anymore, right? So then you kind of get stuck. Like I didn't finish my Transcendence because I couldn't find a good Thaymine group. So I was out of Darkfires. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to transfer over. It's fine for me because I know I can still raid and get out of there. I think that what they should have done is once the transfers were opened up, they should have made Party Finder like regional. So that way, like, especially with the Makoko event, and I think it was Maltrace who touched on that, but like, especially with the Makoko event, it would have been a great time to be like, hey, you can do this. And then people are more incentivized to help you, because the Makoko event was like, if you see a leaf, everyone's applying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it would have made it so much easier for new players to get in there, get their stuff done, for people to have the patience to explain stuff to the new friends and stuff, because it's like, hey, I could carry you through this raid and you can like just have a quick snapshot of it. You're not struggling for 3 hours progging, because I can, you know, support you on my main or something, right? So that way you can see all the mechanics or whatever. But I found that so many people were just giving up on their Ignite characters and being like, I'll just transfer over and finish it off on Legacy because I'm being left behind. So I think that was a pretty big shortcoming. I also do think that they should have, if they extended the time, I understand that because it was what, like 3 weeks and then the transfer window opened up. I understand that it was a short amount of time. I think it would have been beneficial to put Echidna into the Ignite servers, because I think that's where people struggle a lot as well. Thaymine, in my opinion, is more so about your individual playing. Echidna is a lot more about playing as a team and having that kind of coordination and stuff. And I think that would have been the perfect thing for an Ignite server, where you want to foster that community and you want to bring in more players. You want to build up relationships between players and stuff like that. I think Echidna would have been great to have there, because again, same thing. You're having people sneak into Echidna lobbies, or not even sneak. They're just like, hey, came here from Ignite servers. You know, I don't really know what I'm doing, but they have enough Transcendence done. They have enough Elixirs done. So they're like, okay, maybe I can do it. And then they're getting absolutely bodied. So I think that was another failure on the Ignite server, personally. Yeah.
I think it's kind of like, if no matter what, like whatever they had left out will always feel like there's always like something more that has to be done. I think Echidna being faced for the first time though with the like over damage you're gonna do from just having your T skill and your hyper probably was fine, I'll be honest. Because then it's like, kind of like, oh well, they could have added tier 4, they could have added this. I think Echidna would have fit though, would have been nice. I wonder why they only cut off at Thaymine though. That's actually kind of a, I don't know why they cut off on Thaymine.
Like, I think especially because it kind of helps you finish off your advanced honing too, right? So like if you're ending at 1620, to me it kind of would have made sense, you know. So
maybe because that's actually probably what it is, to be honest, is that if you got a bunch of like insane amounts of free mats, because you just did get a lot of insane amount of free mats.
When you transfer it, you get.
It would have been a meta of like, make sure you do advanced honing on that server before like all those free mats get wasted or whatever. Maybe that's why they kept it off. It might have people like maxed the fuck out of it, and that could have been kind of because in general they didn't. It seems like they didn't want anything to be too overwhelming for new players and stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying with like not having the other power systems, is that like, if the goal is to like not make it super overwhelming for them and not feel like it's you know, because that's the thing they're trying to move away from, right? Is that like in general they want people to like not feel like Lost Ark is like this giant giga sweat game or whatever, right? You have to like also, I think, get rid of like, not let them interact with those systems and stuff. I think Echidna would have been nice to learn, but no matter what, it'll always be hard, because something that's different in Lost Ark than like if people come from WoW or Final Fantasy and shit. People expect you to like watch guides when you do raids.
Yeah.
And the raids are not doable by just going in. They just aren't. Like they are technically if you're
like a support maybe and you have good not even
sense, you need to like know, like if you're joining a group of people and you're just joining like a perfect example. If you play WoW, right? Yeah. You just join Raid Finder or normal mode. You could have like a fucking, I'll be honest, bro, you could like have a very minimal idea of the mechs or not, and none at all, and probably just get by.
Okay, yeah.
In Lost Ark, you can't. You actually have to understand. Yeah, exactly. Like you have to understand like how the raid works to just clear it, because you can't just join a party of people who, like in WoW, you can have like that mix of like some reclears, some not reclears, and they'll figure it out, right? You'll clear and it's whatever. Lost Ark, you can't. If somebody is not reclear, you just know they're not, and they have like literally no idea.
Frame 1, yeah, and
you immediately know there's something wrong, and so that's kind of like, I think also like where there's sometimes there could have been that not miscommunication, but like, we're going to Echidna and not understanding, like, you know what I mean? Like treating it like that. Because on Ignite, that's what it was, right? It's just players from other games. So they unironically just join a lobby. They're like, hey, have you done this? No. Have you watched the video? No. Do you know how this works? No. And they just be like, all right, fuck it, whatever, let's go, right?
Yeah.
But on regular servers, even a learning raid will expect you to have knowledge, like a backlog of knowledge of what you're, even a video or anything, right? So that's the, I guess like the hard part. No matter where you cut off, it would have been kind of like weird because of that thing.
I agree with that, and I think that's something that Lost Ark just needs to tackle. I think solo raids were kind of a band-aid in the sense that like you were kind of learning mechanics, but at the end of the day, like people just don't have the patience because they have too much to do. It was different when like I think maybe Vicus was the point I think, when people started to be like, okay, I don't have time anymore to be stuck in raids, right? When it was just Argos and Bolton, it was like, okay, yeah, it's fun, whatever, progging is whatever, I'll help you get through it. Vicus and Clown, that was when everyone's like, nah, fuck you. I gotta get my shit done. I have too many characters at this point. Like, there is no more patience. And I agree. That's the disconnect too between Ignite, where you had people playing the game for the first time, or, you know, they had the time to rush up an Ignite character and they were like, yeah, like, it's fine. Let's get through this together. It was definitely a more positive environment, I think. And I think people were also a lot more forgiving. So
yeah,
because you kind of knew what you were getting into in Ignite, especially post transfer window, when you knew that the people who were left behind are like, okay, they're either coming in a bit later or they're just a bit more casual.
I think for the people who are like left, I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing though, because at the same time, I think they should let you still play on Ignite, to be honest.
100%.
I don't think it, like, connecting the worlds or not is kind of like a whatever, because then you're like, then there's also the argument like, okay, are you intentionally exposing people to gatekeeping? Because at the end of the day, dude, like, who wants to take a 1620 with no T skill, no hyper awakening? It's like you're just missing an insane amount of damage, right? Like a ridiculous amount of damage. So like,
I mean, Behemoth, you remember our prog,
it's like tens of millions of DPS. It's like a lot.
It's
so
insane.
Like, you're exposing these players who won't understand why they're getting, like, they're just not going to get what's happening. So like, I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah.
But I think you should have still been able to play on Ignite, just for like, even if those characters don't do shit or whatever, because I think like the biggest, to be honest, in my opinion, the best part of Ignite server was the ability to actually test classes. That's something that we never had in the game ever, was the ability to test classes in endgame raids. And that's great for new players, because now you can pick a main based off of just like, okay, do you want to try it? Try it out, see if you like it. And that's what all it is, right?
Yeah.
And so that freedom is huge. And I think having that freedom open for, okay, well, who do you want to invest into your alts? Because your alts are also a big time sink. Yeah. Or it's like, hey, dude, like, do you want to keep practicing Thaymine, right? If you have that environment where it's like, you don't have, like, bro, you have one character. How much shit are you going to do in Lost Ark, right? Yeah. So like, you do your main character raids, everyone's treating you nicely because there's a Makoko event, which is really good. I guess we're going to touch on that later.
Yeah.
But like, then you have free time. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you can work on your alts or whatever, but what if you just go on Ignite and you just practice doing Thaymine? Because at the end of the day, you have to practice it. You're not very good at it, right? So it's like, you have to practice how that works. You have to practice uptime. You have to practice whatever. So I think it's the only thing that, for me at least, I would have liked if you could still play on Ignite after transferring off, just to like fuck around. You know what I mean? If you just want to play the game a bit, try out some classes, practice raids and stuff like that, and then, you know, you deal with the main character stuff on the main character server and stuff, you know.
And I do think, honestly, this is something that I think I brought up. I think when we first did our first podcast together, Miso, and you're like, what are you hoping for? And I said class change tickets, and we haven't seen them still. But I do think we're hitting the point where, like, I know that they want you to make more alts. They don't want class change tickets because money, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Lock it to whatever, like, the main class, like warrior, mage, whatever, and let you switch between subclasses, because I really do think we're hitting the point where people, like, we're too far to invest so much. A lot of times when we're getting an express event, it's because a new class has come out. Ignite was amazing because I didn't feel like I should be using it on, you know, whatever new class or stuff. So I made a Shadow Hunter because I was like, fuck it, bro, two gems, like, say no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really do think that stuff like that, because it's just so punishing. If you're new, like, you came in with Ignite, right? You make your new character, you're like, great, beautiful. I had someone in my community who was like, so do I have to either go through the whole story, like, on my own now because I want to see the story, or I don't want to, you know, pay for a power pass or whatever, or I don't have gold to knowledge transfer, right? So they're like, hey, I'm going to go through the whole story. I'm going to play this class. I'm going to do my best to learn it. When I can finally take it into raids properly, and I realize that I fucking hate this class, what do I do? You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, so you got to do it again. So like, you either got to power pass somebody, or you got to knowledge transfer again. You got to either delete the character or buy a new character slot. Like, I really do think that we are hitting the point where if we want the game to be a little bit more, I guess, forgiving in that sense, because it is really high investment and we're so far in now. I really do hope that we get class change tickets, you know. So if we're not going to have, like, if we're not going to have stuff like, or you just have like a fucking 60 character roster. Yeah, I wish I was like Mr. 4K, but I'm not. So I can't manage that. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing about trying out classes and being able to see what class you like to play has been one of the biggest complaints I've had for. I mean, it's not just a Lost Ark thing. It feels like an MMO thing in general. Unless you have like a free form class change system, like for the most part, you run into this problem. And I wish there was a better way. I mean, Ignite, like you said, Ignite server was a very good way for you to do that, right? And I just wish that there were an environment like that you could just, do. And like something I had thought about before was like up until a certain item level, you could change classes freely, and that I think that would be really cool. Like, there, like, I mean, in general, if you could just change freely, that'd be great. But like, if they're afraid of like, people like not making alts or like whatever, right? Just make it so that, up until X item level where you can actually like, actually get into the game, get into the systems, get into the bosses and try the class out for what it is. And get it to that point and then finally decide what you want to change it to. And then after that item level, that's when you're locked.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be kind of interesting. I feel like at least with the passes we get, I don't know, maybe it's because I just play a lot, but like, I feel like the passes are not like to swap a main will take a bit of time for sure. But if you replace like a character in your roster with any of the passes we've gotten in pretty much everything after the first year, it's not too bad to actually swap a main, like one of your main 6 out, to be honest. With the first year, I will say the passes were pretty shit. Like it wasn't, they always were pretty bad. But after that, if you want to, like for any pass that's ever come out, if you need to replace a main 6, they're always fucking stacked. Like they've always been like pretty juiced in my opinion to actually like swap out like one of your alts or whatever if you do it like with a pass. I do think though with tier 4, it could be because we're like really early in though. But I think they'll probably be the same thing. They have to like nerf honing. Maybe we'll see that low on. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll see like honing nerfs getting to tier 4. I don't think so personally, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say too because maybe in Korea that something that's thought of now is like it could also be like like how I was just talking before about like it's kind of the game's kind of hard for new players. It just is. It's not to scare people away. By the way, like you'll learn the game, but the raids are not easy and they're not like anything else in any other game. Like I don't think WoW has to worry about like lingering super armor and has to understand like how to greet a mechanic. Like it's just not the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So that learning curve could be kind of steep, especially when you're doing it in like things like Thaymine, Echidna, Behemoth, Aegir, whatever, right? And so maybe the thing is we get hella gas, we get an insane amount of juice, right?
Yeah.
So these players are getting launched into the end game immediately. Maybe in Korea, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't know if it's like fucking Destitution out there, but like, it's something like fucking Waterworld or Mad Max or some shit, right? Like, they might actually have people because the thing is, this is an overpopulation thing. Our game literally cannot support this. We cannot have new players starting at the very, very beginning because we just don't have the players to do it. But in Korea, if you have overpopulation in the game, maybe those players are actually just going through the tiers, and the company is like, well, we can't just throw them into fucking Aegir. There's literally no way. Like, that doesn't make any sense to do that. So that's why they have nerfed owning, is like they want people to go through a con, they want people to go through all that shit and slowly build their way up into tier 4 so they get more used to the game. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, that does make sense because I do think that like the raid difficulty progressed decently well. Even just the things like mechanics, like you see mechanics repeating in a sense, and like that's how the game is built. Like, what you see in the Abyssal Dungeon or what you see in the Story Dungeon is what's going to be reflected in the actual raid. So it does build upon each other, but I mean, it goes back to the whole issue of it's basically a different game in the West. It's a different community in the West, right? So it needs to be treated as a different game. And that's I don't see that happening, unfortunately. So it kind of sucks because I feel like that's really the conclusion that we kind of always come to, is that like that's the game. You just have to deal with it. But it just sucks. I think especially for us because we've invested so much of our time into it. We've made so many connections through it. Like we all hung out, in SD. That was amazing, right? Like I am so grateful that I had the opportunities that Lost Ark has given me in that sense. And that's why I want to see so much more from it, because the potential is there. And I know it can be so much more. So it's just like, I just really, really hope that maybe something changes.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, it's everybody always says, right? And I think this is like not even like anything that's up for question or debate. Lost Ark has like by far in terms of combat and like gameplay, like one of the best, if not the best, out of all MMOs out there. Like hands down combat, like Lost Ark feels great. Like, you know, it's definitely the best out there. It just sucks that there's so many things outside of the combat and the actual gameplay that suck. So yeah. But kind of back on like the raids topic, I've talked about this in the past, and I personally think that normal mode should be like heroic. You go in there, slap the boss around, you know, and just be able to play. And
I've heard you say that before, and I couldn't agree more, honestly.
Yeah, without like watching any videos, and just go in there, see mechanics, whatever it may be, and then hard mode is where you know, that's when boys become men, and you know, we grow some hair on our chest and go.
I do think that something that's interesting, and Cody, maybe you can comment on this, because Miso, I don't really know how much you hell raid, but I know, Cody, you hell raided quite a bit. And I find it very interesting that the hell raiders are almost like their separate demographic. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I remember I was talking to like some hell raiders, like dedicated, I only play this game to hell raid. I literally only do my dailies. Like, no, they don't even do their dailies. I think they swipe to buy pots so that way they can hell raid, because they don't even care about dailies or anything else, right? And I think that's so interesting, because I think the comparison in Final Fantasy would be Savage Tier. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It would be Ultimates. Hall modes would be their Ultimates,
Sorry, Ultimates, yeah. And to me, from what I've seen from when I played Final Fantasy, and you know, still kind of being in my guild Discord and stuff, is that Ultimates are something for like, okay, you've hit super endgame. This is like an achievement to show how far you've kind of come. Yeah. And I find that I don't think that the average Lost Ark player, and again, keeping in mind that obviously we're exposed to a lot more hardcore players, or whatever you want to call it, like I've never really touched hell raids, like unless I'm just fucking around in it, because it's such a commitment, right? And then like you look at the hard raids, like I've been seeing people prog hard mode Aegir for like, you know, the whole week when it comes out, right? And it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like to a certain extent it kind of sucks the fun out of it. And I think that maybe reapproaching the difficulty of these raids, it would help with a lot of issues. Like, I always thought that it was kind of stupid that once they started doing the thing where it's like, oh, you get different mats when you hit hard mode, right? I think maybe like keep it at the same eye level, but maybe you could just get more mats, you know, if you clear hard, right? Like it's a bigger reward. But the fact that you have to clear hard mode for things, I think that's a little bit silly. I think that we need to readjust how the difficulties are. I think that would make it a lot easier for casual players, for one thing. And then two, like, you know, you're not taking it away from the game. It's just you're not making it so mandatory and so punishing to people if they can't clear it.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like what you said. It's if you keep the item levels the same, it's hard because the game monetizes progression so heavily.
Yeah.
And so if you make normal mode a baby raid, it makes the game more accessible. The thing is, if the entire game is baby raids, then the game gets boring, right? Because the game doesn't really have anything else going on except raiding. So the raiding has to be really fucking good, right?
Yeah.
If you then, although I think that's a good idea to make normal mode baby raids and then hard mode actually hard, but then you have to make both of those raid tiers accessible, which even now, even normal mode isn't accessible, like for Aegir and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the hard part with that, is that like it depends on how. This is like the eternal battle of Lost Ark, right? It's a great game, but it depends about how much money they want to make. That's the only thing holding you back. A small, you know what I mean? All right, well, yes, I'm saying like it's.
No, I was gonna say like you brought up a really good point about like this whole game really is centered around raiding, and I think that's also part of the reason why like this problem is there, because I've kind of mentioned this before. That like if you look at other MMOs, there are other ways to enjoy the game. Lost Ark, everything is just a means to be able to raid. You know, like. Yeah. If you're doing your life skilling, it's because you want fusion mats so you can hone. Right, yeah. You're doing your chaos dungeon so you can get silver so you can hone. Like you're only at this point. I used to be a story enjoyer. I was really, really enjoying the Lost Ark story. But then once Ivory Tower came out, and I was like, well, shit, I need to shift Jesus as fast as I can so that way I can like actually get into the raids again. I was like, I don't have time to take the story at my own pace anymore, right? And it's just everything is just we have to hone, we have to raid. That's it. I don't think Lost Ark will change that, because that is part of why it's successful, right? Because like you said, the raids are so challenging, the combat is so much fun, but it's a catch-22 in the sense that like if you're not able to do that, there's nothing else really in the game for you. Like you can't hang out in town life skilling and chatting to people or anything like that.
I'll be honest, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I would like to see other things in the game for sure, but even if it ends up just being a game focused around raiding, I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing. Someone in chat even mentioned that there's no casual players. I also think that's not the worst thing ever. The thing is, the game could be a niche. It's just that the issue with Lost Ark is that it doesn't even target its own demographic Because
yes, I agree.
If you're a Giga Sweat and you really want to play Loa, a Giga Sweat will not be able to handle the idea that like they're going to be permanent, like essentially behind for a long time, because you do catch up eventually, but it's like a year plus of being behind, and you slowly crawl, right? So that's the hard part, is that like targeting that demographic, something like a tier 4, if this had been more of like a reset, where it's more of like an expansion where you treat it like where everyone can jump off together, that would have helped a lot, right?
Yeah.
You need games like Lost Ark or like WoW or like FF they're all seasonal games.
Yeah.
They get shit on a lot by like a lot of other creators and shit, but at the end of the day, they're not MMOs, they're instance simulators. You do everything in instance. In WoW, you do everything in an instance. In FF, everything is an instance. Everything you do in the game is essentially instanced.
Yeah.
Actual MMOs usually are full sandbox or a mixture of them. Things like Eve, things like, or I guess those are more extreme, kind of like Darkfall or Immortal, or even things like Albion, things like I don't know, anything old. I get anything that fucking stars, galaxies,
golden age,
right?
The golden age.
But Lost Ark isn't that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
MMOs or whatever the genre is now, like I guess the theme parks changed when WoW came out, and those games need resets. You need resets because you need people to come in to as that new plateau. And with Lost Ark, it's not like, I think Ignite is like pretty close to that, I'll be honest, but it still is like trying to build like that roster, trying to build like getting people's alts into stuff like that is all kind of important. So I don't know. As far as for all rating, I'll go ahead, man.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like, I agree. Like, it is the niche, right? It is what they do well. The raids is what they do well, and that's why I'm kind of like, you know, they can't change the whole game. But I think what some people are saying in chat, it makes sense. Like, we've been, and I don't want to sound doomer because I don't agree that the game is dead, the game is dying. I really, really don't. But I do think that it's just harder to get into, and there needs to be ways to address that and to start cultivating a healthy player base, because it really does, like, even just, I remember when people were saying, like, when Ignite service came out, like, it was so nice to be able to go into a town and see like the world chat thriving, right? And just like those little things like that, like, I don't know, just sometimes, like, I mean, rather, I've said this a lot, like, if I didn't stream, I would feel very isolated playing Lost Ark, right? I think that the Twitch side has like a really great community, and a lot of the guilds that I've seen that are super active, a lot of them are exposed to, you know, Twitch and streamers and stuff, right? Like, you look at Hennessy, you look at Monsters, you look at Milky, and so it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a way to make sure that people want to keep trying out Lost Ark. And I don't know, maybe this is just what I've been seeing. Maybe I've been seeing too many doomer posts on Reddit and stuff, but I don't know. What are your guys' takes on it?
Or do you want to go, Misa? Or do you want, I've been talking a lot, so if you want to.
Yeah, we're yappers.
It's all good. I mean, for me, it's like, I always think about it this way. Like, you need to have at least a 1-to-1 for like new players coming in and old players exiting, because people are going to eventually quit an MMO. It's just inevitable, right? Whether it be real life situation or like you get tired of the MMO, and then you always need somebody to come in and replace that person that quits, or else the game starts dying, right? And right now, as it stands, I don't think that Lost Ark really has at least the law, like, for the new players coming in, there's not enough new players coming in and sticking with the game and getting to end game to make up for the people leaving the game, at least here in the West. In Korea, it's a little bit different potentially, but then for us here, it's definitely very different.
I think part of it is the burnout too, right? Like, people are getting sick of the systems and stuff like that. So I think that is kind of making it worse, because people are just kind of like, you know, if things change, which unfortunately I don't think they will, because like we're saying, that's just how Lost Ark is, then, you know, we're going to kind of keep seeing that trend, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually kind of feel the opposite. I'll be honest. I felt this way before.
Why you gotta be like that?
No, actually, something changed in me. So I used to feel the same way. I'm like, oh, it's not looking good, it's looking good, whatever, right? Yeah. But recently, I played Throne Liberty, and I got jailed in Throne Liberty in the dungeon.
Oh, wait, yes, I want to hear about this.
I fucking hated my life. Okay, dude, there's this dungeon where you have to turn into a rat and then go underground, or the boss turns you into a rat. You have to burrow underground and then you run to a flower. I got jailed in a dungeon that has one singular mechanic for hours.
Okay, but this was the thing with Throne, because people were saying, like, everyone who went from Lost Ark to Throne was basically like, holy shit, these people
okay, look, listen, it's not that. Okay, first of all, these people need to be studied in a lab. First of all. Second of all, okay, dude? This changed something in me.
Okay.
I've never been a super hardcore, like, I can never play anything besides Lost Ark Andy. Okay, dude?
Okay.
The thing is that after that experience, it kind of made me realize, I'm like, fuck, dude, like, I don't really find this fun. I just don't. I didn't enjoy what was happening to me.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me appreciate Lost Ark more, because I'm like, fuck, dude, like, even when I'm jailing Lost Ark, I'm still actually at least having fun, because you're still trying to parse, you're still trying to, like, you're still trying to pump, you're still trying to like get better at the raid and whatever, right?
Yeah.
That aspect is really, really, really important, because the thing is, the game is stimulating. It's a stimulating game. Mm-hmm. Even when the dungeon went smooth in Throne, and again, dungeons are not really the main point. Like, I'm not trying to show them Throne, like, at the end of the day, bro, like, it's not really the main thing, but I'm just trying to give an example. It's a very somber game. It's very, very somber in general, right?
What a word.
And so,
for me,
that's something that, like, I kind of enjoy about Lost Ark, is that it actually is stimulating. It's like super, super, super fucking neurons activated type shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, dude, but like the fucking the clouds parted. I don't know. Something happened where I'm like, fuck, bro, like, it just is what it is. I just like the game. I like the game and I like parsing. Yeah, I guess something like that, right?
I mean, we all like the game.
The thing is, the game is just fun. It actually is just a fun ass fucking game.
Yeah,
it is.
And at the end of the day, I don't think, because of that, yes, they need to do a better job of getting people in. I think they're trying to do their best, at least on the AGS side, of getting new players in, despite at the end of the day, it's an uphill battle, right? Working with the game's organic mechanics and like monetization or whatever. The game will always be kind of niche, and at the end of the day, the player base is not as small as we think it is, just because, like, again, I played a lot of, like, I didn't like WoW. Okay, I played everything outside of WoW, and the player base of this game is similar to most other niche MMOs, things like Eve, things like, well, actually, Eve is probably the closest,
BDO,
but like, maybe? Let's even like, yes, things like BDO, things like OSRS before Trailblazer League, I would say, like, had around a concurrent player base that Lost Ark holds. Most games that show their concurrent players usually sits around where Lost Ark is right now, right?
Some higher, some lower.
I think if they make, like, some of the choices I think they could do that could function, like the Ignite servers being a regular thing happening, let's say, like 4 times a year minimum, I think is a good thing. Adding in more progression passes so you can get those new players to actually help build them a roster, I think that's a good thing that can happen. I think getting them into their LOS 30, that's a good thing that can happen.
100%.
If systems are kind of dog shit, like fucking, let's say, Transcendence, at the end of the day, they give a shit ton of reset tickets, you give a shit ton of free elixirs, like, you just start injecting the game with as much as you can, because you can't change the system, but you at least try to rectify the fact that, say, okay, well, hey, look, we're like going to supplement the gold it costs and supplement. I think stuff like that's going to help a lot too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I've done that.
And then also not forcing the 6 character roster thing. And that's been something that's been like that since, I'd say starting from the second year of the game, that's been a pretty big push that they've done, is that, like, you don't really need to play a bunch of characters. I mean, both of you guys have scaled down quite significantly, and you're still doing new content. You're still playing the game. You know what I mean? So it's like, they have, like, put effort into actually, like, downsizing how sweaty the game organically is. I think stuff like that is kind of important too. So I have hope for it. It's in a weird spot for sure, because the game is just so fucking strange. But I was using the same example, and again, I hate to shit on every other MMO. Okay, dude? I'm not trying to be that guy. Okay, dude. But I'm gonna use the example of New World. In my opinion, I think New World is a bad game. I think it looks great. I think there's definitely nice parts about it, but I think genuinely, in my opinion, the game is not fun to play. I don't like playing that game. I just don't. I don't think it's a very fun game. The thing is that game has fundamental core issues to the gameplay. And so getting people to stick around is hard, because it takes a lot of money and time to fix gameplay. It takes literally no effort to fucking change a 0 somewhere and say, like, yeah, guys, you know what? Instead of 5%, it's 50% to hone. And you only have to hone once per piece, and you could get to the new gear. There you go. That's like the most tiniest speck of, like, just a little bit less greed goes makes exponential growth for the game. Does that make sense? Because it suddenly has, like, it makes huge ripples, and so that's an easy thing to fix. So maybe I'm high as fuck on copium. Maybe I'm glazing super hard, hoping that a rich Korean CEO will give me the potion today at 4 a.m. But after playing other games, like the game has its problems for sure, but I do think that I think it's able to hold on to its player base, and I do think that it has something that people who quit will get bored because there's not really anything else out there that scratches that same itch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It offers something that you actually cannot get anywhere, and there's nothing like it. There's just absolutely nothing like it. If you just want to I don't know. There really is nothing that's offered like that.
Yeah, no, Lost Ark. I think I agree when people are saying like Lost Ark combat has completely spoiled me because like the mechanics are so much fun. I've had this talk before with a couple of people, but like Lost Ark is the first game where I have like really been at the end game like this, and two like rated so much. Like I think the only other game was like freaking Continent of the Ninth Seal. That was like the only game where I was like, yeah, C9. Yo, Lobby used to play. It was an
really Continent of the Ninth Seal. What the fuck?
I think it was another like KR MMO.
It was another KR.
Really? That was like turn-based, I think, right?
No, it wasn't turn-based. It was instance-based again, though. Oh, yeah.
Also, dude, I think this is reminding me. I never really played Korean MMOs when I was younger because I just thought they were all pay-to-win garbage when I was a kid, and I honestly as a kid I was right. Even as a young adult, I was right. But I kind of just ended up giving up on trying to. Like I used to be very what's the word? Anal about
okay, why do you
and
like what's the word? Anal
about monetization and like sticking by like I'm like I don't want to play with it, and I kind of said fuck it, right? I was like fuck it, guys. Like, we're not gonna like it's not gonna win this shit, right?
Yeah.
And so BDO was like kind of like my first true like pay to win like Korean MMO experience, and I remember when I quit that game, I was like, this is the worst game ever made. I fucking hate BDO. I didn't want to play Lost Ark. I was going to quit MMOs altogether because I just could not stand BDO. It fucked. Grinding 500 hours for an infinite potion, you have no idea. Like 500 hours. I did it. I did, but I didn't. I hated it because the thing is, BDO used to abuse the fuck out of its player base.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought I was never going to play that game again. BDO's now like one of my favorite games ever created ever. I love BDO, right? Yeah. Because they just because BDO fundamentally is a good game, but to move a zero around is very easy.
Yep.
They decided to grow, we're going to make a little bit less money for now. And so the game grows and they make more money organically, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that having that strong foundation of having a fun game, and even if it doesn't do anything, BDO doesn't do PvP very well. It's the PvE is kind of shit. There's no bosses. It does mobbing really well. It does PvP really well. And that's what it does. Same with Lost Ark. Lost Ark doesn't have to do fucking everything else great. If it does, awesome. I think it's cool if they add extra stuff and a diversity and whatever. But even if it panders to like that hardcore audience, it's easy to move that skill around and make it a game. That's why I always tell people to not like blow up their accounts, because like, dude, you never know.
Yeah.
Like, when I tell you I was never going to play BDO again, bro, I was never going to play. Even Calvin said he's not going to play BDO again. Calvin right now.
Calvin's fucking playing BDO all the time now, man.
Is grinding fucking life and lower. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah. No, I agree.
That's why again, maybe it's the Copia. Maybe this is just a fucking the what's it actually called? The honeymoon phase of like tier 4. But I'm like, bro, if I could enjoy the game this much after playing 7,000 hours, I haven't played 7,000 hours of anything besides like Star Wars Galaxies or something. Like, you know what I mean? There's something there for sure.
No, I agree. And you know what? Whenever people come into my chat and they're like, hey, like, should I give Lost Ark another chance? I'm like, first of all, it's never been a better time. But whenever they cite the things that they hated, I'll always be like, listen, like, honest to God, I do think that like AGS is really trying their best, and like even Smilegate is really trying their best to I know people are going to hate me for saying trying their best, but they are addressing a lot of the issues that people had, like the engraving support system. Now that we got that, I no longer think it's copium to say that they will implement something similar for elixirs, for example. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are steps being taken in the right direction. I think it'll take time. I don't think we'll get out anytime soon.
I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, by the time that comes out, I'll be honest. We even play Ashes on launch by the time that comes out. They just started selling elixirs in Korea, but that shit's I'm gonna be honest.
Gonna come out. Star Citizen is gonna come out.
As long as I got used to on elixirs are fine, man.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah, but
look,
like
at the end of the day, game. But I do
Yeah.
think also a part of it is like sometimes it's like there's a lot of like. Bro, just fucking cut Transcendence. Just get it done. Okay, dude. I don't know what the fuck to say. Bro, honestly, just it's once you cut your Transcendence,
this to me personally,
no,
or
this is just for the fucking
general?
world. Okay, dude. Just end the fucking system. Stop it. Stop fucking procrastinating it. This is not you, I swear. It's just for everyone. Okay, dude, just end it because it's so shit and it's so unpleasant.
You
but
just gotta get it over
so
done
good.
with. It's like medicine.
Yeah, bro. It's like just deal with it. Fuck, for the love of God. Like, it's so much better after you do it. Like, I was having fun before, right? And now I'm having fun after. But there was this middle part that was like a couple of months where it just was not fun. Just
I remember it would be in your stream time all the time.
Oh, bro, it haunted me. It actually haunted me so much.
I'm a terrible person because I force other people to tell me what to click. Like Yusleon does my elixirs and Solus does my transcendence. Like I'm not gonna fight.
I'm like, why many souls of transcendence? That's fucked up. You're putting someone through that. That's crazy. That has
he wants
to be.
Play Lost Ark again so bad. Like I'm giving him his fix.
Solus, lock the fuck in, guys. Lock in. You know, my new way of thinking of it is just lock in. If you don't do shit, don't do it. For honestly, throughout the summer, I didn't do most of my raids. I just was like, fuck it.
I agree.
Now I'm doing 27 raids a week. You know why? Because you lock the fuck in, boys. You lock in. You know what I'm saying? Lock in. Do your transcendence.
I'm starting to hate lock in.
Hit it. No, you know why? It's because you're unlocked. You don't have full transcendence on you. Lock in, mate. Lock the fuck in. You're unlocked. Of course you don't like locking in. Lock in.
I'm just staying quiet here.
Boys, I just bought a new Nespresso machine. Okay, dude. It makes good ass coffee. Buy an espresso machine. Okay, dude. Make yourself a good ass coffee.
I don't want to get
the fuck in, bro.
Honestly, is advocating for caffeine addiction.
Did you know Scoops did not believe me when I told him I don't drink coffee?
Not that makes 100% sense. Bro, you have ADHD.
Drink coffee either.
Yeah, if you drink coffee, mate, you'd probably would be more calm. Coffee calms me down. It doesn't.
That's what it does. Yeah, we need the stimmies, bro.
It hones you in. Yeah. It hones me in. It doesn't make me. It
dead ass, bro. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's something I've realized, and I did this myself too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like Doom, and there's definitely things I have to change in the fucking game and shit. Again, bro, Throne changed me. I don't know what the fuck happened in that game, dude. That one jail changed me as a human being. Honestly, I had so much anger towards. I had so much tilt towards Lost Ark until I played something different. And I'm like, oh my god,
maybe it's not that bad.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you know what? Like that's what I always tell people too. Like honestly, like if you're not enjoying the game, just take a break. Like
just play Throne Liberty. Do any dungeon in Throne. Honestly, do any dungeon in Throne. Honestly, bro, it's gonna change your life. Either you're gonna have a great time with Throne because Throne actually is pretty fun, or you're gonna be like, bro, it's time to lock in. Like straight up, do your transcendence. Lock in.
Yeah.
Here, like something that I do on my stream is, and maybe I'm a mad lad for doing this, but I look for jails.
Why? For content? What's wrong with you?
There's a lot of times.
Being a kidna
a lot of times I look at the party finder, right, and I look for the one that looks the most jail, and I join that one, and I do that, and like I'm just like I could never do that in Throne. I would never be able to do that in Throne.
Characters. Why?
it's
I don't want to hear it. Miso jailed my boyfriend in a Thaymine for 2 hours until his power went out. They're like, I'll make the jail. If I can't find a jail, I'll make a jail.
That was a really bad night. That was a really bad night. But most of the time, it's
to do that to yourself. That's fucked up.
Well, I mean, I think it's like the thing is the actual content.
Bro, when I bring Amy to a raid, I bring fucking Duranus. I bring Cal. I try to bring the biggest juicers. I try to bring the best players I possibly can into that Amy run to make sure we're safe, dude. To make sure we're safe, okay?
That's why. That's another reason why I don't like host parties very often for raids. Like people are coming and like, oh, I go to these other streamers and they like, host these parties, and I'm like, yeah, I would do that, but I also don't want to subject my own chat to like, what is potentially going to happen.
Judges are sick.
I've started straight up being like, so before I would just take whoever because I would feel bad. Fuck you guys, I don't feel bad anymore. I'd be like, first come, first serve, guys. I'm so sorry. Now I will straight up tell people like, hey, I need to do this by this time. I have this much to do this weekend. Like, I'm sorry if you don't have your shit done. I can't take you. I'll organize, a learning raid for you or whatever if that's what you need. But like, I'm like, even if we're homies, I'm sorry. But like, or if I'm bringing a fucking rat, I'll say it. I'll be like, you can't be like, I have the rat role for today. You know what I mean? Like you can't, right? And it is what it is. Like we just got to get our shit done, So like, I know jails are fun to watch and everything. And like, I think the biggest thing for me is the attitude of the people that I'm with. Like I have been losing my mind, laughing my ass off, spending 5 hours in a Thaymine before. And I've also mental boomed like 30 minutes into like a fucking clown. You know what I mean? Like the duality of man. It really just depends, but it's just like, man, there's just too much shit to do. I can't anymore. I'll be so straight up about it. I'll be like, I'm sorry. I wish I could take everybody, but I can't. So maybe at Christmas or something, I'm
gonna be honest, bro. It's not like I gatekeep less than me. I'm just saying, bro, listen, I bring the homies on like this. Boys, this conditions.
You can gatekeep less than
me. We grab an order like and then you fucking I don't carry though, dude. You just gotta, you know what it is, dude? It's called flaming. Okay, dude, you flame everybody, and then you build a community of game. Bro, my stream, I'll be honest, bro, I hate pugging. I can't. When I play on the weekend, I want to jump. Playing with the boys, bro, everyone locks in.
The boys is fun.
And then sometimes you get into a little jaily poo. You know what I mean? If I bring fucking, fucking the fucking trifecta, like the Haru Whiplash, fucking I don't even say Devler, bro, because Devler's kind of a gamer. Bro.
Devler fucking stuck it. Oh my god,
bro! All these people have no clue. I play on West. Like, who are these people?
I bring Haru and Whiplash, bro. You know, maybe we sprinkle Amy in there, bro. It's like shit. We ain't making it out. You know what I'm saying? That's Alcatraz. You know, that's an island. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little jail.
It's fun. A little. It's fun, but like you did a fucking 5-hour echidna 2 weeks ago. I did a 3-hour echidna on Monday. Shit.
Okay, to be fair though, whoever died first is their fault. That's how all raids work.
100%.
Yeah, it's you start the wave of wipes. Once
you know what? That's actually so true because it's like the first was so good. Yeah, and then after that, people just slowly start mental looping. You see them getting like fucking picked off. Oh my god, I was about to lose my shit because I like that echidna on Monday. It ended up being like mostly pug lobby, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I had my first death like 7 or 8 pulls in, and someone was like, "May, what's going on?" And I was like, "Bitch, I will fucking cut you right now. Like, do not fuck with me. Like, and it's not the time. This is my first fucking death, you assholes."
Honestly, look, I think the other thing too is I think when the game is easy like it is now, it usually is kind of better because people don't really give a fuck if people wipe. People don't really give a fuck if you get jailed a bit. Like the game tends to be in a healthier state when the game is. It's hard to like make the perfect difficulty. It's not like it's hard to gauge that. But whatever the fuck it is now, I would even say a bit harder than what it is now. Like
really?
I think usually is pretty good. Yeah, because the thing is right now you just fucking delete everything. Like things could be a bit harder than it is now. But like,
I think the biggest thing is just with the power systems right now. Like, I get what you're saying, but that's really only for people who are in tier 4. Like my tier 3 characters are completely neglected because I'm like, I don't want to pug this shit.
Lock in.
Swipe for me.
Hey,
like,
that's the answer to everything.
How do you want the gold to magically? I will stay free to play.
Show your roster right now. Go. You're not doing the podcast?
Yeah, I close
lock that shit in. I better not see green lines. That's all I gotta say. I better not see green lines when I see.
That works. So okay, this isn't updated.
Guardian raid. Una task. That shit better be fucking gray. You know what I'm saying? 0 out of 100.
It's all done until you hit my tier 3 characters, and then there's rest. And I'm like, that's very.
Those are the characters that are getting jailed, though. You know what I'm saying? Lock in. Lock in. Lock in.
I'm coming.
I mean, gotta talk about that. Like tier 3, tier 4. Do you guys think that tier 4 should actually start at 1640? Like actually just be able to lock into.
You should just start in tier 4. I don't know why the fuck tier 3 exists. Just get rid of it. Like I don't.
Well, that's because now we see how much better the game.
I think tier 3 came out, or tier 4 was not ready. They rushed it out. I think it's super fucking obvious. They were super rushed out.
I agree.
And so to supplement that, they time gated it to little shit, and also because I like money, right? But it obviously was not finished. I think we probably got China's probably gonna get the best version of tier 4 in my honest opinion, because we got the second best, and they're gonna get the full our passes
like hyper awakening like 1540 or something like that.
They're gonna be receiving that, and they're probably gonna get like if I had to get because the way I think tier 4 is supposed to work is that. Okay, so let's say you tier 3, or pretty much you're using your the second you go into tier 3, you're using your arc passes, right? You get to the third line of every tree, right? So that way you're in your basic functionality of your class. Then you go into A gear, and then now you can use the 4th line, right? It gives you enough points so you can fuck around with the 4th line, and now you get your class changes in A gear. A gear hard, you actually get the extra juice, like, and you know what I mean? There's like an actual full-on extra line that doesn't exist yet that is there, and then you actually fully juice. That's how it should function. I have a feeling that's how it's going to function. It just that it just was rushed out. We got a better version because we got hypers and T with it, which you get the leap tree right away as well. And then I think China's going to get the final version because it'll be completely done by that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just was something that I think they just kind of rushed out and just had to like get out. Same with the raids. I think that's why everything was like so fucking like go.
Yeah, it was.
Because you have to release Aegir and you have to release Brel because they're tied to the basic functionality of your actual like character and shit. You know what I mean? So I think starting in tier 4. I don't think it takes a fucking genius to say like, yo, why don't we start in tier 4? Like, who the fuck started? Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I definitely didn't feel ready for tier 4. I will say. Granted, we had TwitchCon, and then I stayed in Cali for another week, and then when fucking what was it that came out, and then we had Friends Behemoth. I think it was Behemoth, and then we had a weekend away. Yeah. So I was like, yes, I've had it like a couple vacations, but like even beforehand, like I said, right, like I did not expect my main to hit A gear, and it's just like I wish we had more time. But then on the flip side of that, then it's content drought, everyone's catching up, everyone's bored again, so it's like, you know, can't really win. But I do feel like this was very rushed, so I feel like it's just a little bit more time would have been nice, because I think a lot of people are having trouble hitting Aegir hard, as far as I've seen.
Even Aegir normal.
Yeah, it's all very inaccessible. Yeah,
even
it's hard because we didn't get. I feel like for the transfer, we should have gotten. This was not something I came up with. This is Jungle also mentioned this, but because the thing is, they can't keep nerfing raids forever, and everyone wants to nerf the raids, nerf the raids. But at some point, you have to draw the line in the sand, right, and be like, okay, dude, like you kind of have to like we can't keep readjusting the health and this and that and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, to be honest, the way they should have done the transition is we should have gotten 10 extra item levels. 1620s go to 1650.
Yes, I think that's good.
30s go to 1660. 1640s will go to 1670. That is a one-time final, like, okay, guys, look, we're pushing you insanely fast, whatever, right? Because then you just have less honing to do. The thing is, it's just like an insane amount of honing. And again, we'll see what ends up happening at Low-On's in winter or whatever, and probably going to get whatever the fuck the update is from that pretty quickly. I have a feeling they're going to probably not nerf 1600, 1620, but I think they're going to nerf advanced honing. I could be wrong. But more than likely, I feel like that little like I feel like Low-On is going to be pretty important, at least for Origin, because you can't burn the candle on both ends. You can't make the game hard for new players and also hard for old players, because then it's just everyone's pissed, right? Everyone's like dooming and shit. And even like with shit like Transcendence Elixirs, if the systems suck ass, it's one thing, but people have to be able to play the game. If people are not playing the game, that's really, really bad for the game, because then the one good thing about it, people aren't interacting with. People have to be playing. If people are sitting like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours in Party Finder, people aren't playing the game, and if people aren't playing the game, they're like, why am I doing this? They're gonna like to be honest, sitting in Party Finder is a waste of your time. It just is. It's not. You have better things to do.
And nobody uses that like chaos dungeon thing too, because I think you've mentioned a couple times, Scotty, like I'm not gonna be waiting for one guy and then one other person's like, oh, I'll just start my chaos dungeon, it'll be fine, and then you.
It's not even that, bro. If you're fucking waiting for 4 hours, it's like, dude, like people. When I wait for 20, and this is something the most prissy princess shit ever. But when I wait for 20 minutes in fucking Party Finder off stream, I'm like, I have better things to do. 20 minutes. Honestly, I'm like, after 10. I'm like, this is a waste of my time. It just is. Yeah. And so it's like, that is like important, because my time's not worth more than anybody else's, right? Like it's like people need to be playing the game, not sitting, not like it's just that's not healthy for the game. You can't like that is a ticking time bomb. You can't fuck around with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's funny because I see so many parties, right? And like whenever I try to pug, like you said, right? Like I'll see so many fucking parties. And one, I'm like, y'all should just, push yourselves together. And two, it's just like you said, we're just waiting so long. People are being very picky, which like I understand gatekeeping, but what ends up happening for me at least is I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm either only getting to like trash parties, or like it's just taking so long to put a decent party together that I can't be bothered. I just log off. I'll just finish my raids another day. Right. And then that ends up not happening, because then I log in the next day. It's the same thing. And I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'll just do it next week. I'll try hitting it on reset or something. So, yeah.
No, I mean, Party Finder is definitely the worst. Like, people always mean about this, but people say Party Finder is like the worst raid in the game.
Yeah, 100%. It's just not fun. I feel like you don't want to spend time like the game is fun, man. People want to play it. People want to enjoy it. People put up with the most stinkiest, I mean the smelliest fucking systems to play this fucking game.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. It's like, make the other things more expensive, do whatever, but let them play the fucking game. Like, that's the most important thing. Is monetizing raid entrance causes a lot of gatekeeping and a lot of like waiting and all this shit.
Yeah.
People have to play the game, man. It's all that matters. Is that people getting in there and playing the game. Nothing else matters. As long as people are playing it, they have a reason to deal with everything else. You know what I mean? But you have to get people like, in lobby doing like, or out of the lobby and into the actual like content of the meat and potatoes. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. I think with that point about hating solo raids, though, the thing is, solo raids is not the same experience as Party Finder. Like, even when I was doing stuff on my Ignite character just to get gold, for example, or like doing it on older character, I guess further behind characters, it's just not as fun. Like, I don't think that solo raids are really geared towards being a replacement, in my opinion.
Not yet, but I do think solo raids could fit in Lost Ark. I think the current solo raids, I don't think replace the quality of group raids, but that's because they're not designed to be solo.
Yes.
I do think that Lost Ark could have a pretty bright future with having being focused around either like solo/flex content, where like
and maybe that is how it grows the player base of it. You know, who knows? Because
I think it's the inevitable. I'll be honest, dude. I think years from now, that's what Lost Ark will be. I don't think it's going to stay a group game. Whenever it's because the thing is, if it's the only way the game can stay like hyper pay to win while still, retaining like or like growing, right? Like getting new players, whatever. Because at some point the Steam will like run out in Korea. I feel like that's kind of the inevitable part of it.
Yeah.
So like,
I agree.
Being able to be a little more flexible and like you can either go in with the raid solo or 3 people, 4 people, whatever it may be.
Yeah, you could like a 1 to 4 or something, right? You could go with 1 to 4. The raid is designed to be solo. If you go with people, it might be a little, you know, it'll still work, but it'll be a little wonky. Yeah. But I do think the game will end up being more solo raid oriented, is what I personally think will end up working, because I can't imagine another way for the game to stay as heavily monetized as it is, while still bringing new players in. To me, it just seems like the most logical. Like, I can't imagine any other way that works, that they get to still like make a lot of money and then make a lot of content and then also make it like accessible to like bringing in like a lot of new players and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you can make great solo experiences and great PvEs, like, you know, look at Dark Souls or like any of the From Software games, or you know what I mean? Like, you're definitely able to make like that challenging, difficult, very like high, like, you know, I guess like fast-paced combat.
Like they'll have to commit to one or the other, though. You know what I mean?
I think they're going to sacrifice the group play for the solo play, in my personal opinion. I think,
really?
I do think that's the future. I could be wrong. Again, I'm not game dev. I'm just
for me, just knowing what kind of company they are, I'm just like, how do they get money from it then? Because then, to me, the whole appeal of solo raids is things that I wouldn't like, raids that I wouldn't have done otherwise, and I can take it on my own pace, at my own time. If I just want to do 2 gates for gold and say fuck it, I can do that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that whole push for eye levels, for mats, for whatever, the things that are incentivizing me to maybe even swipe, that's no longer there if I'm just going to be raiding on my own and taking it at my own pace. Do you know what I mean?
Same thing as Genshin. People like, what's the point of swiping Genshin?
Mm-hmm. It's also the same with like Maple Story too. Like Maple Story, for the most part, endgame raids are a lot of times can be soloed. Like, and
it's
people do solo it.
Yeah, people just want to swipe because they want power. You raid access, skipping grinds and shit. They just make things unpleasant, and so you just want to like. They all work the same way. It's just as long as the game is fundamentally good. It's kind of same thing in BDO. People swipe in BDO to fucking tap a Debo once. It's like, what does it matter if you get a fucking Debo tap? You already have so much AP. You fucking one shot.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Okay, I see what you mean by Genshin with like weapons and stuff. Then that makes sense.
It's the same idea. And also, again, it just stays heavily monetized, but the monetization blocks growth, and essentially, right? So. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, I like replay. I'm gonna be real. I was so much more on the train of the game becoming solo.
Yeah.
Honestly, until that Throne Liberty situation, bro. I don't know what happened. Something changed in me.
I'm saying you just.
I got that scoot in me, bro. Like, it's something changed, bro. I went in there. I got fucking giga jailed in a 1 mechanic raid, and I lost my goddamn mind. Also, like, the other thing is, like, again, I'm not trying to fucking do shit on Throne Liberty, okay, dude. The game, there's parts of the game I enjoy, but
however,
piano your keys is not that fun, bro. Like, honestly, like, dude,
when you get into
my keys. When you get into when you're fucking going in and you're like, fucking hit that rotation perfect, and then you greet the pattern perfectly, and you use your super armor correctly, and then the boss moves and fucks rotation, but you fucking handle it correctly, and you're like, it feels nice, right? Like, using your skills correctly and positioning yourself perfectly, and not wasting a single second of like uptime. It feels good when you play properly, right? So
you feel like a badass. I agree.
Yeah, that's the thing. And again, I think there is a distinction. Like, I don't think it means that like Throne is bad because it's casual friendly. I loved classic WoW. Like, easy games are great because it lets you sling the shit with the boys, hang out, and not stress out. But that's not what Lost Ark's trying to be. I think it's trying to be more hardcore and more kind of like high octane. Like, you know what I mean? You're like really, really engaged and really stimulated. Yeah. And for that, like, I don't know.
I get that. Right, I guess. I get that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we're almost running to about 2 hours, which I know Kadi's late for you too. So
I'm chilling. Hopefully it's just weird. I know I derailed the conversation like 8,000 times. So sorry.
No, it's okay. Me too. Sorry, Miso.
No. Like I said, whatever I gave you guys for the script, it really is just like it's like in case we have some times where we're like, oh, what do we talk about next? Mm-hmm. Like, these are some really free form conversations. But I did want to talk about this while we have May on here, because we talked about this last time about like the Makoko boot camp and all that stuff. What do you guys think of it?
Honest opinion. I think that they should make it a constant thing. I think, Miso, this was something that I've been saying, And I remember I tweeted about it and you liked my tweet. So the way that I kind of envisioned it being was more similar to Final Fantasy XIV's system, where you're basically like helping out a newer player in like a dungeon that you've clearly done a million times and they're new to, right? And you're getting your own special rewards or whatever like that. The bootcamp system is kind of like that. I think the issues with the bootcamp system, the one thing that everyone is obviously talking about is the eligibility for it. It punished people who came in early for Ignite, right? That's like a huge thing. I do think that it should have maybe been more related to your like top eye level or something like that. Some people are saying roster level. I don't think that counts because if you play one character, your roster level is going to be like, my roster level is 201, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm obviously not like a new player. I just don't play that much. But you have people who like, you know, they came back maybe a week before Ignite because they heard Ignite was happening, or they came back like, you know, right at the start of Ignite or whatever. And then they see this event. This event's great. They're not eligible. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, I still need to learn the raids too. The other side of it as well is that you're seeing people are just blindly taking people with the Makoko leaf. And it's so funny to me because for a game that has such a big gatekeeping problem, you're getting the leave and everyone's just like, fuck it, bro. I want to be Makoko General. I want that relic book. And it's really good rewards. But you're seeing people just blindly take a Makoko and be like, oh yeah, we're carrying this Makoko for the tokens. I don't think that half these Makokos, if they are like genuine Makokos, I don't think that they're learning the raid. And so it's really just going to feed into the problem later down the line where they're going to get gatekept or they're going to get kicked from raids and stuff. They're going to get frustrated. They're going to leave the game because if you're getting carried through the raids, you're not learning anything, right? I have seen some parties in Party Finder where they're saying like, yeah, like this is a Makoko learning group. You know, the person genuinely wants to help these new players out. And that's great. I would love to see more of that. I think maybe a way that we could address that is if the shop was like a constant thing. If maybe it was like you have some like roster items, like the relic book could be a roster item, right? The same way like the Legion Raid Commander shop was, right? Then you have other stuff that's weekly. Like being able to get more gold, I think that's fantastic. Like I would make sure to run some raids with Makokos if that was the case. You could also do something like, hey, if you run, you know, a Makoko specific lobby, like maybe that's something you toggle on, right? The same way that you toggle on the like, oh, you can, you know, run Chaos Dungeons in this lobby or whatever. If you toggle that on and you bring in vets or people who don't have the leaf, maybe they don't get the same rewards, but they'll get, you know, more of those tokens or whatever, or just silver and no gold, right? So that way they can spend it accordingly. I do think that it's a great start. I think that we've seen that it can address a lot of the issues. I definitely do think that it can be refined upon. And I would like to see Smilegate like continue with something like that in the game, because I really do think that it could solve a lot of the issues that we have.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I agree with Amazing.
I also made like a video about this a couple days ago, talking about the boot camp and how, like you said, right, a lot of people just end up carrying Makokos, and there's not much learning going on, and I don't think that that is what they intended for it to be. And like currently the way that they've made the shop, it really incentivizes that type of behavior too, because there's a lot of rewards and some of them cost a lot of tokens, and basically you need to grind through these raids really quickly to be able to get enough tokens to get all the rewards and then eventually get that relic book. Like it just incentivizes this behavior of like, all right, we're just taking a Makoko just to carry them. They're like, I always say this on my stream, you're like juicing the Makokos basically. People are out here like, you know, putting them in a fucking juicer and just trying to get the coins out of them. And I'm not entirely sure what they could do to make that not the case, like how they could change the shop or whatever. But that's very much what's going on right now. And as I actually did, and I don't know if this was like something that you did intentionally or if it was like a spur of the moment thing, Cody, but like somebody told me like, you know, when you were playing with some Makokos, you like brought them into Discord and like walked them through like the raid and stuff like that. And I ended up doing that the other night too, and that was super fun. And I feel like trying to find a way to promote actually teaching them how to do the raid versus just like getting them to clear would be great. And like, you know, the problem is the player is going to be paying for it too in a couple weeks, because these Makokos are going to have X10 clears or whatever it might be, and they're not going to know the raids, and then you're not going to be able to gank even at the end of the day. Like it's all going to come back around, and like
I agree.
Yeah. To be honest, I actually kind of feel the opposite
you
of it a little bit.
This.
The thing is, look, Mokoko's do any damage. I'm going to be completely like 100% transparent on this. Mokoko's are bad at the game. Everybody's bad at something that they've never done. It's a normal thing. Teaching them to raid, they're still going to be bad at the game. Because at the end of the day, when we have fucking people doing like, 50, 60, 70 million DPS, and they have the Mokoko doing like 10, right? They're getting carried. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to just get their foot in the door, because at the end of the day, you need them to blend in. That's the main thing. They don't have to be pros. They just have to like what does the board say? They have to
opposite, though, because you're
fine.
The whole
everyone's an
blending
imposter sometimes, bro. They had we blended in on one point. Like everyone sucked at some point. You know what I mean? It's
and I
fine,
think that's
but
the
like
issue, though. That shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't even be.
The thing is, there is no way to get better at playing that. There is no way to get better at playing the game than playing the fucking game.
But that's why I think the execution has been better. And like
the thing is,
teaching.
I think that like the way they're doing it is like. So I think the thing that's a change, obviously, is the accessibility. I think they're too concerned about old players getting the title that they actually ended up fucking over actually new players or low experience players with like raid anxiety and I mean like I think those players should count too, even if they didn't take a break. I think players that have like you know what I mean, like they should get a chance.
Like under a certain number of
that's what this is a chance. Not every I've heard both there's both sides of this. I've seen people in chat just take a fucking Mokoko and just fucking drag him by his hair and across the finish line. There's also chatters who've been doing like Jungoris who's doing fucking learning raids with his guild and whatever. Everyone's experience is going to be different, and at the end of the day, that's just life, right? It's the lottery of do you hit it big or not. But even if your experience is just getting dragged like a fucking ragdoll across the finish line, it is fine, because at least you are playing the game. You have until fucking January, and more than likely, I'd be very surprised if it doesn't stay. The thing is, you have to incentivize. We're goblins. At the end of the day, we're just fucking goblins. We're not going to do anything without incentive. It's just the way the game is designed like this. Why is Helmo dead? Because there's no fucking incentive. They don't give anything, right? The whole game is based around the carrot. So they gave us a carrot, and guess what? Now all of a sudden, everybody's a fucking a good spirited. So we're like, oh,
there's an event going on. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's like I can carry somebody's damage. Oh, before where it's like if I, you know what I mean? Like it's fine. It works out. Yeah. Not every single week is that Mokoko going to hit the lottery and get a group where they're like, yeah, we'll reset for you, fucker. We don't care, right? But some weeks they will, right? And they're going to practice. And the weeks even that they don't, they're going to practice. And they're just playing the game. And the weeks that they're dead, they're going to watch and they're still practicing. Getting them into the raids is all that actually really matters, because at the end of the day, there is no way to learn how to play the game besides actually playing it. Is there an ideal, more perfect way? I guess. But how the fuck do you make people who are fucking innate goblins do anything like who the fuck helps each other? You know what I mean? I'm sure someone, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's
you're
human
supposed
nature.
To be
like
Canadian.
What?
You're from Quebec, so I was like, you're supposed to be Canadian, bro. Come on.
I'm just trying to say is that I think the only issue with this event is how
you do bring
get into it.
Point. Yeah.
Yes, there's the argument of like, oh, new players aren't going to learn, but new players aren't going to learn any. The only way new players are going to learn is by playing the game. And guess what? If they're in Party Finder, they can't play the fucking game. So like, at least they're getting into the raid. At least they're going to fuck around with it, and they're gonna hit the lottery, bro. This shit's going on for a while. It just started. This went for at least 2 months. And last time I checked, bro, fucking Destiny shards ain't getting any more accessible, right? So like it's fine. And they made it super stingy, where you have to fucking play with you. You know what I mean? Like even if you fucking don't want to, you gotta do it, baby. So you gotta lock the fucking pussy.
Oh my god, say lock it one more time, please.
Those people who are absolute selfish goblins, they're gonna just take a dude and drag him past the finish line. But not everybody's like that. There's a lot of people who are willing to help, but it has to benefit them in some way, because at the end of the day, not everyone has a shit ton of free time to like help do shit, right?
Yeah.
And so like today, I did one with a friend of one of my chatters, Ravina. He brought one of his friends, came into the game. He's a Mokoko. He's like, look, dude, he's like, you get 3 pulls. He's like, if on the 3rd pull, he's like, if you're dead, we're just gonna clear. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm like, does he want me to get in Discord or whatever? He's like, no. He's like, he's my friend. He's like, I'm taking care of him. I'm like, all right, cool. And so that's what he did. He lived all the way until basement. I think it was on the 2nd pull we happened to get the basement. Yeah. He lived all the way to the basement. I think he died to he died to something stupid. I can't remember the fuck. It's something. So someone killed. He's a European player. He just died to something. I don't remember what the fuck it was, but he got exploded. And we're like, right at the end, we're like, all right, we're gonna send it. That guy has got experience up into doing even more basement. He already did his learning grade. This was reclear, but he's low experience reclear. He has 2 full months minimum. This is not if they decide to not continue it. Like that. not even dragged. He played the game. He played the game up until basement. Like he's playing the game,
when
right?
When do you lose the leaf?
1660.
Once your main hits 1660 or something, that I think should be adjusted too. I think people should, I think it should be character specific. It should not be like, I'm sorry, bro, but just because you like already that you gave them like what, a quarter of the shards they need to hit 1660, not counting the fact that there's going to be more shards through this and then the shop and then that and blah 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 blah. Like, bro, these Makokos are going to be hitting 1660 by accident. Like, you don't want to create a situation where it's like, I can't hone, otherwise I can't raid anymore. It's like, dude, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like just add Aegir into the fucking thing. And like Aegir's not, you know what I mean? Just fucking make it juicy for them. At the end of the day, the whole game is about the carrot. And this is something Smog should understand properly, because they're like, oh, wow, we added gold to Hel Hanumaton and people did it. That's crazy. We had a 90% user rate on Hel Hanumaton when Hell mode usually has a 2% user rate. That's crazy, right? Like, it's like, yeah, no kidding, bro. Just fucking like add rewards. Like,
yeah.
So it should be something the company understands quite well. I mean, Smog would figure this out, right? There's no perfect way to do it, but I think this is like this specific launch. And again, bro, this is the most fucking sponsored by AGS fucking podcast I've ever done, but Jesus Christ. But I have to say, like, I criticize the fuck out of everything. I don't like, yes, there's small things that they can do better, and more than likely they're going to widen the gap on what a new player is, right? To make this thing work.
Yeah.
With how fucking goblino this game is, I don't know what could have been done actually better to make it fun, to make us play nice with each other. They made an insanely juiced reward shop. They made it extremely hard to get the tokens. Veterans are pissed because they actually have to be good human beings for once. So they have to play ball with the new players. New players are having a blast because they got pushed into the end game. And so they get to have a real, true MMO expansion experience, because guess what? We need them. We actually just fucking need them. And they don't have a lot of characters that can do these end game raids. So when you get one, you have to help them, because eventually they have one of these raids a week, right? They have one Fae, one Echidna, one Behemoth. So if you find one, you gotta help them. You gotta do what you gotta do. Now, whether you decide to just be Goblino and drag them, or you actually teach them, is up to you. But everybody's different. There's so many weeks and so many raids. Eventually, you're going to catch people who are going to be willing to help you. Honestly, the only thing that really has to change, they just have to make the entry for this more flexible.
Eligibility, yeah.
100%. And this is an event that should stay. I'll be honest, bro. Like, this is an event that should stay. Like, it's, and I think that's like everyone feels that way. It's just like,
I just think it's finally an incentive for people to help, like you're saying. So, you know, I really do hope that it does stay.
Yeah. You have to have incentive. You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. The game, otherwise it's like, it's you know what I mean? It takes a lot of effort to do this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even streamers have effort. I mean, bro, at the end of the day, a streamer doing a learning raid, like no matter how much money you make from streaming, like that's also used as a form of growth. And you know what I mean? Like, it's like even for streamers, like it's common that streamers will help do things, but that's because we're streamers. It's like, we're trying to grow
the community. Yeah. Cause
like even streamers have incentive to do this shit. It's like, of course streamers are going to fucking, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's like, you have to give incentive to the regular player too, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely on board with keeping it permanent. Like, it definitely should be. And I don't know if they'll ever implement that in Korea, but you know, I think it's really good for us here in the West, and just gets the new player through the door at the very least. Again, I think it's a good idea. There are certain things I would like for them to improve on, but at the base concept, yeah, it's really amazing. Like, one of the best things to happen for new players in a while.
Yeah, I agree. It really was a perfect storm. Tier 4 came out with a jumpstart server, so all the sweats had to go do their own thing. And then the jumpstart server was released pretty well. It was just like instant free characters, so you're able to try out new classes, do whatever, blah blah blah. And then they released a way to make it that we have to play with Makokos again. Essentially, I don't want to say against your will, because nothing's forced upon you, but essentially, like, you know, most Lost Ark players are Lost Ark players, and so it's against it. You know, like whether you want to help or not, you want that relic adrenaline book, bro. So like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, like, you know what I mean? But then in turn, it brings out the good in people, right? Because there's a lot of people who, you know, don't mind doing the learning raid, but like they're just that little bit of incentive is just enough to be like, yeah, fuck it. Like, because at the end of the day, what does it take? If you're in Discord with the boys, you just be like, yeah, dude, jump in, right?
Yeah.
Jump into Discord. We'll just knock this out real quick. And you'd be like, yeah, you seen a video? Okay, well, listen, this is what we're gonna do. This is how it works. This is that. Okay, and then you just hit it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a super fast little thing. It doesn't take like a ton of effort. Like, that nonchalantness is important. But if there's like literally no reason to take that person, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. You just need a reason. It's the same reason why do you take somebody with fucking full 10s and you know, like, it's because they're juiced, right? You take somebody a 1710 fucking juicer, like, you take them because they're juiced. Like, you always have to have a reason to do something, you know?
This is when I played in Korea. Yeah, Luffy, love you. They had a lot more lobbies than us, and they have a really honest honor system about new XP, some XP expert lobbies that the community strictly enforces. So I feel like they have a lesser need for teaching rates. I agree because I've never played in Korea, but I do agree that like it's so common to meme about it here. Like, oh, this guy's a fucking imposter. To the extent that like I have so many people in my community who are like, hey mate, like I have so much raid anxiety. I only want to go to a raid if you're gonna be there because I know you're not gonna yell at me. And like that sucks. That feels bad because I feel like people you should be honest about it, but the reality of it is that if you don't have that experience, like, you know, that is the whole boot camp thing is people don't want to take you otherwise. It's like you're saying, Cody, right? Like there's a reason you're gonna take the person with level 10 gems, with the 10x reclear, with the title, with the whatever trophy and stuff, right? So I mean, I think that kind of links back to a community issue though, in my opinion, is that again, there just isn't the patience, there just isn't the incentive to be helping people. I only ever see learning party or homework reclear. You know, I never really see anything in between.
We don't have a big community though. That's the thing. We don't have a very big community. That's the thing. It's not as big as Korea.
Like the
Korea actually Korea. A lot of the problems in Lost Ark get solved by overpopulation, which Korea has. Also, the way they keep those things in check is by witch hunting. We don't have witch hunting here because Reddit doesn't allow it. That's why it's so tightly kept in check, is because witch hunting is a real thing. So you're not get kept from the party. You get kept from the server. Like you get kept from the actual content, like the actual country of South Korea. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a whole different beast.
Yeah, I only ever seen that with like. Well, I know one guild Discord that has a blacklist channel.
I mean,
like,
every guild Discord has
it. That, you know what I mean?
No one fucking cares. No one's gonna look at that channel.
Yeah, no one really like keeps track of it.
Everyone has bad day, bro. Honestly, listen, I've played with a ton of people. I've fucking seen everybody's fucking damage. At the end of the day, dude, everybody has bad days, and that's okay.
100%,
right?
Yeah.
It's if everybody's every day, then omega lol. But like usually, like there's just people who fucking juice. And there's people who when some days they just run it down. It's fucking whatever, right? Like it's really not that big of a deal. At the end of the day, the game is about raiding, and so sometimes, bro, if you're like your third, fourth raid in, I'm sorry, dude, but like you're just not locked in. You just aren't going to be playing at 100%, bro.
You're mental doomed, yeah. And especially if the previous 100%. Raids were jail, then like it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. So. Also, with people with raid anxiety, I used to have like giga-bad raid anxiety. And listen, this is just like life in general, okay, dude. Honestly, dude, if you make somebody's life worse, they're gonna flame you. Okay, dude? It's not their responsibility to be like, oh, it's okay that you made my day worse. They had a bad fucking day. Okay, dude? But it doesn't mean you fucking crumble and turn into nothing. You fucking either just say, hit them, block them. It's the motherfucking internet, bro. Okay. Block them, ignore it. Hell, maybe you flame them back. Who cares? But just lock in.
Oh my God, there it is.
It's okay to get flamed because you're making somebody else's day worse. It is what it is. Like I'm not trying to like defend toxicity, but something that I feel like is never talked about because everything has to be so sad. It has to be delicate and soft.
Yeah.
Bro, I used to have giga anxiety talking to anybody, anywhere, on anything ever. You wouldn't even fucking believe it. At the end of the day, if you make people's life inconvenient, they're gonna get irritated, and when people are irritated, they're gonna be fucking assholes. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you stop your life, right? And you stop what you're doing for somebody else. Lock the fuck in, bro. Like honestly, lock in. Like actually, like don't crumble to nothing. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you like that's just not a way to live. And I know it's easier said than done, but as someone who's experienced it and gone through it, it's okay for people to flame you. They don't owe you shit. Like why do they have to be nice to you? For what? And why do you have to be nice to them? Why do you have to put up with their shit? Just fucking block them, bro. If somebody recently, if people don't break the ball in the fucking Guardian when we were, I block them. I don't give a fuck. I don't play with them ever again. I even if they came into my chat and they're like, hey, Cody, why'd you block me? And it came from the period of when Argyros came out, I wouldn't even play with them. I'm like, no, I don't want to play with you because I don't want to. It's my choice. I'm not a bad person. I don't want to play with. Like it's just a simple. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
They're improving. They're even improving the blocking system just for you, Cody.
Oh yeah,
that's huge. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to say, boys, for whoever's listening to this, don't be sorry on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that deep? Don't be sorry on yourself. Essentially, love yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Respect
yourself.
Really
ain't that deep.
Respect your.
Not really. You gotta love yourself for real.
I mean, I don't know. I did want to see if we could try to get talk about like I don't know. There's been a lot of it's been a I don't want to end on like a kind of like negative note, but I do think that we should talk about this about like just like recently in the game and all of the exploits and like all the bans and all that. Like do you guys any specific thoughts or any feelings about what's been going on?
Legalia said they can't get us all, and people were like, "Yeah, they can." I'll never understand that. There's people from my stream that heard Legalia say they can't ban us all, and they're like, "Yo, that's a good idea." Like,
that's like a fucking battle cry. Like, people are rallying behind that.
I love you boys, and I'm so sorry for my fallen soldiers, but bro, how the fuck did you guys hear Legalia say they can't get us all, and you thought, "Yeah, he's right. He's correct."
Oh my god.
That is the correct, and he said 800 times, like, guys don't exploit, and he's like, guys, they can't ban us all, right? He as a joke, and everyone's like, wait, no, that makes sense. Like, bro. Look, at the end of the day,
people hear what they want to hear, man.
Bro, it's crazy. Listen, at the end of the day, it sucks because there's some people who did it as a meme. I'm sure people were like in Discord, the boys, and they're like, yo, it works, dude, that's crazy. And now their account is banned, right? They didn't really gain much from it, but now their account is permanently banned. That sucks. I feel bad for those players.
Yeah.
I understand that you have to you have to swing the ban hammer. I've been saying this since the beginning. They've been very light on punishment usually, and you have to swing the ban hammer. Okay, dude, historically they've been very, very soft, way too soft in my opinion.
Yeah,
it sucks in this scenario because there's people who don't really like. At the end of the day, they weren't exploring. You could just tell. Like if you opened up, if you did it once, I assume you just.
Oh yeah, if I saw it, I'd be like, nice.
No,
like,
I
would be fucking reading it. I think
it'd be insane to exploit in a game you have 7,000 hours, and you'd have to be mentally deranged. But some people are just fucking around and they're like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think it's normal that there's I know people are like flaming tier 4 a lot, and it's going to get brought up on every patch cycle for, oh, Cody, do you think the servers are going to be down forever? But they released 4 months of patches in a singular month. They released T-Skill Hyper, they released A-Gear, they released tier 4, so story, blah, 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 all the systems, and Ignite servers all came out on the same day. That is 4 months of content released on the same day. The game exploded. Now, is that okay? Hell no. This shit has to be fucking tested a bit more.
Dude, the fact that we couldn't start the MSQ, that was insane to me.
But I do feel like people kind of blow shit out of proportion where it's like, dude, they released a quarter of a year worth of content, right? Yeah. Into 1 month. That's like if anyone's played this game for more than fucking 10 minutes, each of these things that came out would have been a month worth of content. T-Skill Hyper would have been a month. Actually, it was supposed to be a month.
I agree.
Tier 4 would have been a month. A-Gear would have been a month.
Yeah.
Ignite servers would have been a month. And we got that all in one singular day. Yeah. That all came into the game at the same time. So yeah, the game caught fire. I feel like everyone is giga losing their mind. And again, I get where the disgruntledness comes from, because at the end of the day, dude, players are mad that they're getting railed in the ass by honing. That's actually the reality of it. People are angry because into A-Gear, or they're getting gatekept or whatever. And so it turns into this argument of like, fuck, they can't handle, they don't. It's like essentially, if you look at this as like an expansion level event, MMO, I mean, those people are getting straight up axed. So it's like,
yeah,
what do you want?
I think that what they've done with like the whole, hey, like depending on how many boxes you've opened, whatever.
They're shooting everybody. Everyone's banned now. Like they just fucking permed everybody.
Yeah, I think honestly that was perfectly fair, because it did address the people who did it by accident, right? So MSQ, and honestly, I didn't care, because like you said, Ignite came out the same day, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'll just go do my Ignite stuff. Like it's fine, right? Again, like I'm not really someone who was like, I have to be level 70, in 2 weeks or whatever, right? So like I wasn't as invested as others were, but like, they're going to prioritize that shit. Like, it's fine. Like, people were hella memeing and stuff. It was frustrating. Yeah. But all the other bugs and exploits and stuff, I'm like, like, just, I don't know, just don't fucking take advantage of it. Like you said, like, why risk your account?
On these cubes. I'm like,
yeah, honestly, no, so many people did that shit. So.
Bro, I hit 70 because of that. Like, I had nothing else to do, so I was just running cubes. And,
yeah.
I mean, bro, I walked into A-Gear.
I remember that day.
Harder than fucking A-Gear.
It was so nice. It was so nice to have a raid where I could clear it on the first day it came out, and I didn't feel like I was stressing out. Like it was just God.
Yeah, A-Gear ended. I was like, shit. I'm like,
I loved it.
I don't know what just happened. I couldn't. I learned A-Gear recently when I went back and did the learning with Lofty Riker and these two. We could grab two like pugs.
Yeah,
like pug learners, and I actually feel like I learned A-Gear properly there, because the first week we actually walked in like
steamrolled it.
Yeah,
dude, A-Gear just got demolished. Like
I'm like, oh, this is 100%. Fun. Okay, I'll hyper weaken here, like so.
Yeah, it was fucking nuts.
It was great to like, you felt good about yourself in that sense. So yeah, Lofty, just raid with me. I'll save you.
You guys won't die in new raid until I get a Giga Joe for it. I mean, should we lock in, dude? Listen, life is about locking in. That's it. It's all about locking in. I know I've said locked in a lot, but straight up, bro, hit it. Why are you counting? Mate, what are you counting? What is your fucking Bro, everything, you know what it is, dude? What I realized, and maybe this is because before I wasn't taking care of myself and now I am.
Yeah.
Bro, it ain't that deep. It's my job and it ain't that deep. You guys are like, to people, anyone listening to this, you're a fucking player. It just ain't that deep. You know what I mean? It just, all this shit just ain't that deep. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, actually, it just is. Yeah. It's just not that deep. Like, a lot of people are just like disgruntled and shit. And it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, as soon as you're not having fun with it, as soon as you're getting mad more than you're enjoying it, like if you have more of a hate than a love relationship, I'm sorry, like as much as I want people to enjoy it, like why are you enjoying it? Or like why are you bothering?
Do more dailies. If you feel like you hate the game,
I don't think that's the solution.
Lock in. I 100% is. May it worked. I'm doing 8 characters dailies right now. I'm having a great time. I'm having a good ass time.
That's because you saw the light.
Tomorrow, I'm waking up at 4 a.m. Okay, dude, to kill a field boss.
You're
dude.
Unhinged for that.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because we're having a good ass motherfucking time.
Hell yeah, dude.
Because we're locked in. More dailies. I sort of got me. If you count one more fucking time in chat, I sort of fucking got it. No, but I agree with what you're saying. It's if you're having a bad time with it. I think it's also sometimes people run into that situation where it's like it's like that love hate. You know what I mean? They hate it. There's parts they hate and there's parts. I think a lot of times it's like it's a community of people who it's in restaurants. I remember we had like this client. This is the last restaurant I worked on. We had this client who like complained, a regular who complained about something that one of the new guys did.
Yeah.
And my boss was like, you know, it's important to listen to complaints because complaints are from people who are planning on coming back. He's like, it's the people who don't say anything.
I heard this exact same line when I worked in a restaurant.
You have to like worry about.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that is kind of important. Now, I'm not saying that like, you know, people have like, I'm not saying that the people on the Discord and the forums are the nicest people ever. Yeah. But I do think it's important to try to, maybe you don't have to do what they say, but the ability to interpret where their anger is coming from.
Yes.
Because these are people who care. You know what I mean? And there's people who care. And so, as much as it's to like be funny and joke about it and shit, I do get that, like, you know, people who do, who are angry about shit and are trying to like voice their concerns and shit, what they're saying might not make any fucking sense, bro. But it's fine. It's not their job to make sense of what they're saying. It's on the side of I mean, it's hard because the developers in Korea and they don't really give a fuck. So
I mean, you can't make everybody happy, but I do think that, you know, for example, like the ban wave that went out right after the recent exploit, we had so many people being vocal about it, and you know that is what should happen. I don't know if that contributed to, you know, AGS being like, no, fuck them, we're actually going to ban this time. I really don't know, or I don't know if they just hit like, you know, then their rope.
They're like, fuck it, we're done. You guys have explored too much. Yeah,
but like it is good because it's exactly like you're saying, Cuddy. Like people who like just hit that point where they're like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. I'm done. I'm uninstalling. You know, it's like you said, like they're not invested anymore. They don't care. They don't want to see the game get better. Right, like even us discussing these things, it's because we do want the game to get better, right? We still care. We're small.
No, fuck it. We want it to get worse, dude. Add more transcendence. I want my elixirs to be transcended.
I don't want to be on this podcast anymore.
100%. I think that before I don't want to be here anymore. Before any single time when I send an RDH,
you got rated, bro.
Dude, I wanna make sure that my crit is dependent on how quickly I can cut an elixir mid-fight, and I take full damage during this elixir cutting session. And if I roll anything lower than a 3-4. It's fucking white numbers, baby. We lock in. Type shit.
Yes. Type shit. I do agree with Luffy, with what Luffy said. I remember I was also quite annoyed because when it did come out, and God bless losing the fucking news for the lady whistle down of Lost Ark, if you will. When it came out that it was reported 10 days prior and they didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, that was kind of nutty. That was kind of nuts.
That was a little bit much. Like once I found that out, I was like, yo, like they really, if they don't ban, I think after that, I think the sentiment was like, if they don't ban,
you have to take action.
And people were like, okay, you guys actually just don't really care.
I'm surprised they permed. I'm gonna be honest. I am glad they permed because at the end of the day, I've been wanting people to get perm banned like 100%. Since day one. Again, bro, I can't believe you guys fucking heard him say fucking they can't get us all. I actually cannot.
It's so funny.
This is the timeline I'm in, but whatever.
So fucking dude. Funny.
That's crazy. By the way, Bree, thank you for the raid.
Yeah. Hi, Bree.
But it is good that you have to set an example. Yeah. Right. Otherwise, it's just.
I mean, that's what happened with RMT.
Kingdom ruled in fear.
Time.
Yeah. Oh, stop.
Yeah. Actually, no. But even recently, they've been banning more, right? Even with RMT, it's like people who are RMTing, come back with negative, and then they RMT again, and people have been actually getting rebanned, right?
Yeah.
And then put into even deeper depth, or just get permanently banned. Like stuff like that is like important. You know what I mean? And again, it's like it's important that like stuff like that helps the growth of the game. You know what I mean? It does help because
it shows they care.
It's not the shows they care about. You can't have whales. Not everyone can be a whale. If everyone whales, the game is in a bad situation. Like that's the thing. The thing that's bad with RMT. It's not like it's like a morally bad thing. You're not a bad person if you RMT, right? You're not committing a fucking mortal sin. It's just that a game like this does not function correctly when everybody can whale, and when everyone is RMTing, that means everybody's a whale because like actually swiping legally in the game is like really fucking expensive, man. Like it's not a joke how expensive that is. It's really fucked. And so when everyone is like walking around fucking full 10s on every character, 25 goals, they're walking around with the equivalency of $20,000 with like $1,000. It's like, that's really bad, right? That's like super, super unhealthy for the game. So you have to like treat it, because at the end of the day, these people are not committing. Like there's no like, you know, like if murder wasn't illegal tomorrow, people aren't going to go around start. I mean, some people might, but some people are going to start killing each other, right? Because it's just it's fucked. It's morally wrong, right? But RMTing isn't like a fucking, you know, when you know God wrote, what is that? They wrote the fucking Ten Commandments or whatever. Like they say, "Thou shalt not RMT." Like that wasn't there, right? Like,
I do think that it is indicative of, like you're saying, like if people don't feel the need to swipe that much, I do like some people, no matter what, they just want to be like, fuck it, easy way to end game. I want to be strong as fuck. I don't want to have to do the work for it, right? Like I always tell people with Lost Ark, you either have to invest your time or your money, otherwise, like you're just not gonna have a good time, right? But I do think that when RMTing is this widespread, like, you know, something's wrong there, right? So
it'll always happen. Every game is like
every game will happen.
You have to like make it threatening. Like it'll never not exist. It's just what it is, bro. In BDO, people pay some dude to grind on their account. Like even a game where there's no trading and absolutely nothing else you can do, they pay a dude to log in.
Because they just want to be
and grind on their account
or whatever, you know,
and they risk their account getting stolen, which happens all the fucking time. So it's like, like even in the most extreme situation, it'll always happen. You can't, that you'll never stop. But what you can stop is like swinging the hammer, because you have to. All you can do is discourage, right? Because that's this is all a matter of like, what's the word? I guess desire. I don't know what the fuck the word is, right? Do you like it? It's a risk reward situation. If there's no risk and all reward, then people are going to do it. Because at the end of the day, it's not like you're not, you know what I mean? You're not hurting. Like at the end of the day, what are you doing, right? So you have to be strict, because otherwise it really is bad for the game, because not everyone can be a whale. It's unhealthy for the game to function that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Lovey brought up a good point. Like it's just too expensive to feed into buying gold legally, like you said, right? Like I remember I was asking Dommy the other day, I was like, you know, like, does it still make sense to buy Mario Shop for fusions because I'm starved?
No, nothing's
fucking worth it.
The new Marie's is so bad. I don't know why they did that though. It's so weird.
Yeah,
I'm so curious why they did that. The Marie Shop is like really bad. Like it's not even the new items for honing. They also added in like I don't know, what's the dumbest thing I can think of? Epic rapport items.
Yeah, they added in a slot now.
Right. The second page shit is on the first page. So more than likely though, what's going to happen is that I think the reason why they did that, this is super copium. Okay, dude.
Reaching. Okay.
But I think it's because we've been using it efficiently. The issue is that they want to resell everything. One of those things being cards.
Yeah.
The thing is, Marie Shop being like this dilutes card packs, because that's where the big money is, because cards people buy like a lot, and it's like they're loot boxes, right? They're heavily RNG dependent. And so by diluting Marie Shop, they're not trying to dilute the honing materials. They're trying to dilute like cards, because cards are fucking like, you know, I have a feeling eventually, especially when you start getting hard raids, like, oh, Brel takes 10% extra damage. Oh, it's barely clearable with regular people.
Yes.
I wonder what's going to happen. Ooh, you don't have the card set that does 10% electrical damage to it?
I mean, that's like when people are fucking gatekeeping for demon damage, right? Like people were actually going in and checking.
No, that's unhinged. If anyone gatekeeps demon, no, that's a jailer.
Gatekeeping
no,
demon damage.
No. I know some people do. They're jailers. You can't trust them. You listen. Gatekeeping comes from the heart. Okay, dude, you have to feel it. You got to feel gatekeeping. Okay,
you gotta, like, if when you start looking into fucking
demon damage and shit, bro. Dead ass, bro. Because the thing is, if they don't care about how their character looks, what do they think? They're faker, right? How many fakers are there? All the people I know who played this game at the level of like an actual like fucking super juicer, like faker, like bro, they're all dripped. They're all dripped. I'm sorry.
True. It is
they're
indicative
all fucking
of it.
drippy. That's it. They like their cheese drippy, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
if you don't care about your drip, you don't care about your damage, bro.
It's true. That's why my character's
It's
all
drip or
dripped
drown,
out.
bro.
My character's all dripped out.
It is what it is. But yeah, no, I think the cards, I agree completely, because I think when they released the new card sets is just about the point where I was seeing a lot more people being like, hey guys, I just got my LOS 30. And I was like, congrats, sweetie. Like, on to the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I will say though, from the perspective, I've been saying this for a long time, and this is my absolute most dog shit take. It's up there for sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things I talk about are things that don't really affect me, but I know are healthy for the game. At the end of the day, I don't really experience gatekeeping. I don't really experience a ton of the things that a lot of players do, but I talk about it a lot because I think it's important to talk about. Being somebody who plays the game an unhealthy amount, I personally like more cards. I know that sounds weird. I don't think it's good for the game, and I'd be happier if they weren't there. But one thing I liked back in the day was when I had KLC 30 and everybody else didn't, because LOS everybody has.
Yeah.
But not everybody had KLC 30.
Yeah.
And so when you play the game a lot, so I play the game to do more damage. And so when I get more damage over other people, it makes me happy. Right?
Yeah.
Now again, this is not a good take. They shouldn't keep it in there. They should not do this.
No, but I think good for the game. Your take is representative of a lot of Lost Ark players.
Well, it's just, this is the player side. A lot of times you see guys have the content creator side where I'm talking about the general community, things that, you know, not every, a lot of the shit doesn't really, you know what I mean, affect me. I have an infinite amount of time to play. I don't care if a raid takes longer, right? But I know that for the community, it's bad if a raid takes long, right?
Yes. Yep.
But specifically with this, for myself as a player, I'm kind of down to have every single elemental type on cards, because like eventually I'm gonna have them all, and I'm fucking down, dude. Like,
yeah, no, you want to feel sick, bro. Like that's why people are like, I want to parse. I want to see how much better my damage is over people. Yeah,
you're gonna be parsing. You're gonna be flexing on kids. It's gonna be a good time.
Like, that's the audience that Lost Ark has. Like, it is what it is. So
yeah, okay, that's like my absolute shittiest, doggiest fucking.
No, I honestly, like, whenever I hear like even like fucking arguments for like DPS meter and shit like that, right? Like people are like, dude, like what's the fucking point if I can't see how hard I'm pumping, especially in a game like this where it's like doing the constant rates. It's not
the game is about the gear fantasy, right? So as somebody who plays heavily,
you want to see how much
like it is something that I'm like, I personally am excited to get new cards. Like I got a new card today. I actually pogged. I was like, yes, let's fucking go, because I got 0.13 arc demon damage, right? And I'm like, I'm putting my sets together slowly, like, because I it's like that's what I'm playing the fucking game for, bro. Like, and again, I know it's a shit fucking take, really. Like, it's not good for anyone, but for me, it's pretty dope. Like, I'm pretty high.
It is what it is. It really is, honestly. I don't think you're the only one with that opinion. So
yeah, that's true.
If I ever have problems with cards, I just go back to Esso Striker, and then
oh my god,
and then I no longer have to worry about cards because I play Lazumar.
Don't you guys not use Lazumar anymore in tier 4? Didn't they get rid of that?
Deathblow did,
because your T skill.
Deathblow doesn't use it, but Esso does. So if
still does.
If I ever have problem with cards, just swap back to Esso, easy.
No, it's not worth it, dude. Don't do that. That card set sucks.
This is fucking stinky as fuck.
Yeah, that shit's terrible, fuck, dude. Yeah, it's a bad card set.
All right. Well, I don't want to hold you guys here for too long, and I also have a raid to get to. Gotta get my egg gear done.
Oh my god, he's kicking us 07. I wish I could 07.
Mr. Miso, sorry if this was a little too erratic. Hopefully you had a good time, and thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, I did. This was really wonderful. This was such a fun podcast. It was honestly, like, in terms of fun level, 10 out of 10. Way better than any other podcasts.
I agree.
But you know, productive level, you know. Nah, just kidding. It was a good time. But you know, thank you both for being here for this, and Cody, especially for you to stay up so late to do this. Thank you.
Actually, it's only 11. It's 11:30. Oh my.
Yeah, it's late. It's late. It's time
I gotta
to
wake up in 4 hours to kill a field boss. Dude.
It's
you
over.
Poor thing.
It's over.
Oh
all right.
Now we lock in. I got this.
That's 11. That's 11.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Man.
TTV, Maysira, TTV, Cody. Go check them out. They got YouTubes as well. Check them out. Sub them. Give them a follow, whatever it may be. But thank you both for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And
thanks for having us on.
Let's do this again soon.
Sounds good to me.
Take care. I'll be down.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.